Alrighty then. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another stream. For those of you on Wood and Potatoes 2, this is not a new day. This is not a new evening, a new fresh day. The date is currently Monday, late in January, and this is happening immediately after my regular stream. It's coming up to 5 in the afternoon, and today's quite a special day. I mean, I've already become accustomed to this and sort of understood this for a while now, but I have officially publicly revealed the prizes for the big legendary hunt competition. And on this stream specifically, I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about the entries, and we're going to give the prizes away. So that's what's going on here. I anticipate doing this for about 1 to 2 hours. We will see. Let me just quickly tweet it out and tell people in Discord that this is going on. And so I'm a little bit scared of this stream. This stream, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about why I chose what I chose to win. And I'm a little scared that I might get sort of attacked and sort of argued with, and people won't agree with my logic, and I'm a little bit concerned of that, but I want to be transparent with you all, and I want to just see how it goes. I have actually already had one particularly salty comment from someone who didn't get a higher up place on the leaderboard, which I'm going to read out to you guys. I mean, they posted it on public space, unless they've deleted their comment already. The video's only been live for a couple of hours, and they were very, very quick to express their upset. They might even be here in chat, in which case we can have a little bit of discussion there as well. Yeah, so just to talk a little bit about the project, I guess. Let's see if we can turn it on for you all. So if I go to this and I go woodenpotatoes.com and then we turn it on. Boom. Okay. All right. That's sort of okay. Oh my god, the size of this is very, very weird right now. Let's see. Width, let's put that to 2,200. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, this is the competition. Let's make our potato a bit smaller as well, shall we? Because he's very, very big. So the idea here was to win all of... actually, I don't think I need to be in Guild Wars at all right now, so I'm gonna... Oh no, I do. I do need to be in Guild Wars because we're gonna give the prizes away. Well, I'll log back in a second anyway. My desktop's just a little bit cramped right now with a ton of different things going on all at once. Let me move that up. Let me turn Twitter off. Let me tell people in Discord as well. Anyway, so how's everybody doing, by the way? I'll treat this like the start of a stream, even though it's totally not. How's everyone doing? We all enjoying ourselves? There we go. So yeah, the idea of this was I kind of took a fairly minor comment from what, basically the most recent expansion for Guild Wars 2, several months before its official announcement, there was a huge leak. There was a leak in which all the major features of the expansion were revealed, and like a giddy kid before Christmas, I foolishly read all about it and kind of had to struggle with how to create content when I knew everything that was coming because of leaks, without talking about the leaks themselves. ArenaNet themselves struggled with the leaks, and in one of their developer Ask Me Anythings, the game director of the time essentially said, listen guys, if you're excited about the game, if you're excited, that's cool. Please do try and preserve the excitement for people who haven't seen it yet. But do share the game. Word of mouth advertising is really going to be a big thing for a game of this age, at this time. So, you know, and I really took that to heart. I'd wanted to do this competition for a long time. So here's something I've made a video about this, summing up and given some anecdotes. Here's an anecdote that I sort of left off the list and talk about. This has been planned for a long time. Major work really started going into it about a year ago when we began to gather all the legendaries. But it was like around the Heart of Thorns that I first had the idea of doing this. I just didn't know how to do it. And it wasn't until the legendary Waldir/Welk arrived and helped me with the website that actually became a possibility, like an actual reality. So without that man, this wouldn't be happening. Well, basically, can you guys all type Tato hype for Welk there? Because seriously, without him, this wouldn't be here. And it's really cool to see how much this has sort of turned into a real project. So yeah, the idea was to grow the scene. It was to sort of recognize that, listen, I do have one of the bigger communities for Guild Wars 2, let's just put it that way, and maybe I can make some good happen. Also, one of the things that got me into YouTube was the devs hosting a competition like this, so why not run our own? The idea was all about growing Guild Wars 2. At its core, the idea was about growing Guild Wars 2. I decided it would be a YouTube competition, and those who grew Guild Wars 2 the most would be in the winning positions. I wanted some other stuff as well, but there was always to feed that ambition. So I also wanted this to be about getting new YouTubers on the scene. So, because I think that having new YouTubers on the scene thus grows Guild Wars 2. So it serves that ambition. So anybody who did videos and then became a proper Guild Wars 2 YouTuber, I really wanted to see that, and so that was one of the things I wanted from the competition. I had a lot of people as soon as this was announced saying, oh my god, why did you make it YouTube only? I want to be able to do other stuff. And, you know, that was an interesting idea, and that was quite nice, but there wasn't really too much space I had for that. So one of my biggest regrets of this entire project was not saying no to those people. So mostly it's artists. A lot of people are talented artists who work with Photoshop, work with whatever, GIMP, you know, MS Paint Plus or whatever it's called, I can't remember. Paint 2.0, is it? Anyway, there's a lot of great artists, and to all of those people in the early days when I was a bit insecure, I didn't even know how many people would join the competition. To those people, I said, yeah, go for it. Just turn it into a stream, you know, a live stream or a you know, a time lapse of you making the art and submit it, and there you go. I had a ton of people do that. Artists who just wanted to draw Guild Wars fan art. Tons of people did it, and one of my biggest regrets is not a single one of those snagged a top 35 spot. Not a single one. Now, there were some arty-based things that made it, but they were like animations, and they were, you know, like machinimas and things like that. Anyone who just made an image, some fan art of Guild Wars, I can see how you can justify that as growing the scene, because it's like, oh, there's a bit more fan art around, there's a bit of a conversation piece on Reddit over it. You know, maybe that will mean someone sticks about in the community just a little bit longer. But ultimately, when it came to the judging process, I just kind of realized they couldn't make it. I tried so hard. I wanted to preserve a variety of submissions that would be in those top 35, and I kept, you know, for months I've reshuffled these around, and I kept trying to put the art on top. Not on top, just somewhere where someone would get a prize, but I couldn't justify it in the end. I just couldn't. The others all grew the scene in ways that were far more, and I feel bad for that. I really do feel bad. I feel like I sort of gave people a bit of false hope, and so that's one of the things that I've been very insecure about, and I think it's very unfortunate, because there were a lot of art submissions. Hopefully, as people went into the competition, they knew that it was about growing the scene. Really, the only reason I said yes to everyone before was because I wasn't even sure if I'd get, like, you know, 50 submissions. So if people want to throw them in, then there you go. But yeah, I kind of wish I'd been more clear with people, more blunt at the start, and basically just said, look, you're probably not, there's no point because you're not going to win. I wish I'd said that, but I didn't know that about myself at the time. I've never ran a competition like this before. So yeah, that was one unfortunate thing. What else? What other big regrets do I have? Let's see. One of the things I really struggled with was people who made similar stuff. So I guess it's because it's me running the competition, and I sort of inspire it in people. But a lot of people made videos that are like my videos, which is to say almost irrelevant footage in the background, but some kind of, dare I say, well-articulated, scripted, like, conversation. Or they just rambled in the background. And I think this is people being inspired by me. I've always said, though, I think what I do is a bit crap. I don't think it's very good. And so I very much regret as well, I guess, that there were so many submissions of that nature, and because that kind of submission isn't particularly expressive outside of what it has to say, it tended to be quite difficult to give them places or differentiate between them, and I feel like quite a few people fell by the wayside there. In fact, I think I know for a fact there are several submissions that didn't get into the top 35 that I think are probably better than some in the top 35. But because the top 35 already has similar videos to them, and I wanted a bit of variety, they never made it. So I feel really bad for anyone listening to me right now that feels like their video is actually really quite good and it's not even in the top 35. Unfortunately, you were a victim of not being different enough, I guess. And you might think, oh, well, then it's how do you decide who does get to be it? It's not a coin toss. I did really try, probably about some very petty, small reasons as to why I picked one person or the other. But there you have it. So that's a bit of a regret of mine. What else is there? What else? I had another thing I wanted to say, really, a second ago. Yeah, another thing that I found really interesting, that I don't think served many of the competition entries, was when I started the competition and the way I feel about Guild Wars 2. I think that's had a big influence on the entries as well, and not in a good way. So, as you guys all know, I had some interviews with the developers about the release of Path of Fire myself, and I tried to theme all of my developer interviews around one core idea, and that's that people have looked at Guild Wars 2 at some point over the past 7 years. Many mainstream gamers have looked at Guild Wars 2 and they've discredited it for one reason or another. They think that they don't have time for an MMO. They tried it, but they don't like no Trinity. They tried it, but they don't like no Gear Treadmill. They tried it, but they thought that there was no end game at all. You know, this, and this. They tried it, but they think the PvP's not good enough, or there wasn't enough infrastructure at the time. All these different things. The game's changed a lot, so I themed all of my interviews around this idea of let's be blunt about the game being bad. Let's be blunt that the game let people down in various ways, and now let's talk about how it's improved on that. That's how you win people. That's how word of mouth advertising works. You're honest. You don't just suck the game's dick. You say, you know, this is where it may have fell down before, but if you genuinely believe it's better now, if you genuinely believe this is the golden age of Guild Wars 2, which I do, then that can come through in your interview, and that can come through in your competition submission. So these are things I've held very dear, and I really do believe in. And I think that one thing that was really surprising about this, and judging the entries, is how much that seeped into these entries. Invariably, most of these videos talk about what was bad about Guild Wars 2. And one thing I think I've learnt that has altered my perspective a lot is it's really not as effective as I thought it was. I've got to say, a lot of these competition entries are a drag. They're real bummers. They go on and on and on about what they don't like about the game, and then at the last moment have a bit of an uptick and say, oh, but it'll be good in Path of Fire, and they don't really go very much into that side of things. It's mostly just trying to win people over and like look like they don't really grow the scene. That's my point. The whole I like it. I like the honesty. I like the videos. I'm not actually discrediting the authors or why people went with that angle, or you know, and I think they got it from me largely, as well as obviously how they feel. But when it comes to growing the scene, I actually found this was quite an ineffectual tactic quite often. I felt but they were a bit of a drag, I suppose. So that was quite interesting, because I really thought that the top 35 would all be brutally honest things that were all themed around that kind of idea as well. You know, the most convincing argument is the one that shines a light on the dark, right? Talks about what was bad. But in the end, actually, I think maybe it's watching them all back to back, so to speak. I mean, I deliberately paced this out over several weeks because you lose perspective if you need a palate cleanser every now and then, so to speak. But I think that was something I really learned. That is. And I don't think it's the fault of the competition entrants. I just think quite often, hearing about all the things you didn't like about the game, followed up then by a little platitude, shall we say, or not even a platitude, you know, real tangible examples. In some occasions, it often didn't work very well. Some people really nailed it, and I think those were people that actually kept it quite factual instead of emotive. The people who did their entries where they basically said, yeah, raiding is in the game now, and this is actually how it works. You know, these are the tangible updates that have come into PvP. These are the tangible updates that came into World vs. World. I think when people kept it more factual, they kind of let the game speak for itself, rather than sort of some of this emotive language that I was seeing a lot. So that I learned a lot about. I think that was quite interesting. I'd also say, as sort of an opening remark about all of this, I think there are a lot of videos people could have made that would have been instant winning spots, but very few people made them, even though they were really easy. I think if anyone had done Black Desert Online versus Guild Wars 2 and posted their video onto the Black Desert Online forums and got a lot of discussion about it, even if the video was kind of hated on by the BDO players or whatever, I think these kinds of videos would have been, these kind of projects would have easily scored top points. Same for WoW. Guild Wars 2 versus WoW. FF14 as well, obviously. People who did that kind of versus format, there were a few. You always saw that they scored highly. You always saw that they did well in the competition. But I think there was a lot of untapped potential there. There was a lot. What else is there? I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to do. But yeah, so I guess what we'll do is we'll go through the list. I don't know how to do this because there's about 6 hours of content to watch here in terms of people's entries. So what we'll do is we'll like sort of skip through them ish, if that makes sense, if that seems fair to you guys. And at that point, then we will we'll talk about what it was that they did that was good or bad, or how they ended up securing a position. I'll give people just a little bit of a thought or two about you know, why they came where they did, and you know, what I liked about it. And that's often what it's going to be. I'm not going to be hypercritical and rude about what people have made here, obviously. Not that I even was as I watched them. Obviously, every single entry I'm extremely proud of and happy about that people did. So here we go. Let's work our way down and up. Okay, so 35th. And I should be able to get this for you all pretty easily. I hope that you guys get audio. Do you guys have audio? Can you hear this song? Can you hear this? We all expect Living World trailer level of discussion. No, nobody can hear it. Oh, okay. So should I do it audioless? I'm not entirely sure. I can hear it. You only hear the background Guild Wars noise. I can hear it coming through my PC right now, so all we got to do is figure out where that's coming from.
I love to decorate.
I love expansions.
There you go. Can you hear it?
I love my family, and I love the things we do. Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
There we go. Okay, good. All right, so I'll turn it down. So this is entry number 35. This is a full guild of people singing. Very Disney style. Really love it. I think it was a very, very cool entry. And generally just a lot of fun. A lot of work obviously goes into things like this. My favorite little bit of this was when they said, I love to speculate. I thought that was really good, and I very much enjoyed that. Most of the video was credits. This is a perfect example of one of the videos that's basically like, it's a good video, a lot of work's gone into it, but does it grow the scene? And I don't think it grows the scene. I think it probably grows their guild a little bit. So that's nice, but there you go. Really, really nice thing, and I thought they obviously deserved a reward because they put a lot of work into it. And there you have it. So that's number 1. Moving on. Kind of want to find a better way of getting these videos up for you all. So this is Magical Mike. This is a guy I used to work with on YouTube in the early days. I have a jumping puzzle series with him. I haven't really spoken to him very much recently in the recent years. However, he had a bit of a project that he was doing, and it was the Amnoon Evening News. It's machinima, and it actually features a hell of a lot of Guild Wars 2 celebrities. A lot of them. So let's listen for a bit.
Good evening. Tonight's main headlines. Is our city truly safe? Refugees continue to pour in from the south as the Forged threat expands. A council in crisis as our appointed officials decide on a course of action. And more news on the recovery and preservation efforts around Old Amnoon later this evening. But first, if the threat of an Elder Dragon wasn't already enough, the thought-to-be-absent human god of war Balthazar has made a shocking and sudden return to Tyria. Once widely praised and loved by many, the now rampaging deity has taken it upon himself to challenge the crystal dragon Kralkatorrik himself. Currently his motivations are unknown, and whether or not he poses intentional danger to us mortals is unclear. However, we strongly advise you to stay out of currently contested areas outside of the city. We asked this member of the Order of Shadows if there was anything more that we should be aware of.
We have no comments at this time. This conversation never happened.
Alright, okay, so you're really not going to get the greatest flavour of these videos. I really suggest you guys watch them the whole way. I know you guys couldn't hear it. I can't talk over a conversational thing, so I'm going to be muting the videos a lot. This isn't going to be a private screening of every video. Like I said, there's hours of them, so we can't do that. But yes, this scored quite low, despite being an extremely well-made video. That clearly had a ton of work put into it, and does reasonably, I would actually say, grow the scene too. The reason why this scored low is because I am actually in it. And so it's hard for me to tell how many of those likes and how much of that viewership and whatnot was associated with me being a part of the project. I kind of didn't want to go anywhere near anything I was associated with winning very high place. There's also, I had a bit of fear of Ad Hominem because he's a friend of mine and he's known to be a friend of mine. So if he appeared in like the top 10 or whatever, I think that could have just been a bit risky. Also, I know he's a fairly emotionally stable guy and he's alright, and I think he'll be fine with this. So I did definitely want him to win. I had another friend enter the competition as well, and I had a real challenge. This is one of the harder ones for me to judge because they were both friends of mine. And I loved both of their entry. The other friend did a Quaggan-inspired trailer for Path of Fire, which may arguably have even grown the scene more. But I think what Mike made was more timeless, and I think that in terms of effort put in, I think Mike probably put a lot more in. So he sort of scored a bit more there. But yeah, so I thought it was a really nice video. And yeah, it was really the associations with me that meant that that didn't score as highly as perhaps if it had been in a different competition would have. And again, you can maybe question my line of reasoning there, but trust me, you're going to be doing that all day if you do, so don't get too worked up about it. Moving on, we've got 33rd. We have Joanna Banana with Mounts.
Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost. Won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you? I'm gonna make him give back on.
Epic mounts! Cool new specs. Shout out to Team Scorch. Shout out to Team Scorch. And Team Bunny! And yeah.
I'm just feeling celebration tonight. Celebrate. One more time, just got me feeling.
Siedzi sobie mamą w świecie, gdzieś tam przed komputerem.
So, yeah, this was a very strange entry. A very strange, very strange entry. I really wasn't sure where to place this. For the longest time, this was not in the top 35. And then for the longest time after that, it was right at the bottom of the top 35. It is really odd. Mostly this is here because I think if you actually really sit down and watch it, you can tell whatever it's going for, it's really trying. Like, she's put a lot of stuff in. You saw she had her mum playing the game there. There is, like, some kind of underlining story with it. It's just it's a good attempt, and basically a ton of effort was put into it. And again, I found myself as well, here's another interesting thing, and something I really didn't like on the original ArenaNet hosted competition. I didn't like how much they favored people using proper face cams and stuff, but I have to say, I feel like I ended up doing that a little bit as well. So this did get a winning place. By the way, if you're thinking, oh, but Mike's one was better or whatever, I've got them in bands, right? So this band is the same prize band as the others, so that it doesn't come down to that detail, if you guys were wondering that. So yeah, so I decided to give this one of the bottom places which I expanded, so that's a 50 gold prize there. I've just remembered I'm supposed to actually be giving them the loot as we go through, which I'll have to load up Guild Wars, so we'll do that in just a second. But yeah, so there you go. That is that entrance. I love seeing all the question marks in chat because it was such a bizarre video. I mean, I didn't really even know where to begin because it's just got so many different things in it. And yeah, I also, by the way, another thing that did strike me with that one is it being bizarre almost helped it be different to the others, and I think that sort of weird memey kind of humor, which I really don't understand or get, kind of I don't know, almost served it to a certain extent. So yeah, there you go. That was right at the bottom. Quickly going in game here, I want to actually give people their prizes. I really need to find a better way to set this up. Christ. Let's see. So if I move that over there, and then if I move this over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give the gold out. And I'm going to get hit by spam filters and stuff here. So, first winner is Puck Grum with the guild singing with 50G. Oh god, I'm gonna be typing this out a lot. Maybe I should just be very, very minimal with it and just type, you won! Done. Alright, so that's one person. Next, we have Mike. And basically, I'm taking the... basically, I'm taking the account names that people submitted with it. So if a male fails, I don't know what we're gonna do. But there you go. So that's him. And then this next one was this really weird video from Joanna Banana. Okay, boom. So there you go. All right. Okay, so we've already given away 150 gold. Already spam suppressed. It's fine. Oh dear. This is what's going to be really annoying. Do you see just the logistics of doing this? Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be pretty annoying with the spam. So we will have to see how this goes. Why is Steam open? Let's close that, and let's also close that down, and then let's also close that down as well. Okay, good. All right, back to chat. Only do this to the top 10. The others you can do outside of streaming because it's not very exciting to watch. I disagree. I want to do it this way, Lummus. If it's really boring, we might skip through. I mean, we're not gonna. We might go a bit quicker. We might speed the pace up, but we'll see. What mail carriers do I have? I don't know, man. I don't really care either about mail carriers too much. I'm not sure what I'm sending these on. Unable to find recipient. It's probably because there's supposed to be a space there. Ah, this is. I'm gonna have to sit here and suffer through mail spam for practically hours. Alright. Oh, wrong one. What were we on? This one here. Okay, so moving on. Let's go to the next entry. And let's see. Alright, so this one's really exciting. I like this one. We might even watch this one in its full. It's really weird. And I'm curious what you guys will make of it. Let's see. All right, let's check this out. Wait, what? Oh. We will get this. It's copy link address, not image address. I'm just a moron. Hold on, guys. There we go. Good. All right, so there we go. I think we've seen enough. So yeah, pretty incredible animation here. Really exciting. I loved what I saw here. I love the sort of... someone even said this in the comments of their video. I love kind of the dark kind of perspective it gives of Alona. Very grim, very gritty. I'm not quite sure why they made it though, because one thing that really counted against this entry was they blatantly said in chat, hey, I didn't even know about the contest, I don't care about the contest, I was just told to enter it, so I just threw it in just because, but I was making this anyway and whatever. So that was one of the things I thought, well, if they didn't even care about winning or understand it or whatever, other people probably deserve that much more than this guy does. But it is great, and this is the kind of talent I love to see on the scene. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I was really happy to see this here. Yeah, it is interesting. It does paint a very different picture of Guild Wars, doesn't it, really? And one I almost, you know, quite enjoy. So yeah, there you go. That's the next entry. And we've actually got the gold to send right here. See, look at this. I'm getting it going. No spam filter there. And that's their money sent as well. So, moving on, we're going to go to the next entry, which is... which is a very, very cool one as well. But again, we're currently in the space as well. You may have noticed with all of these that they're really good. They've had a lot of effort put in them, but do they grow the scene? Question mark. That's what sort of makes me question them. This is the next, and my god, this is a good one. Okay, so you get the picture here. This is incredible. This is an album of new Guild Wars music, inspired Guild Wars music for every single class in the game. Now, not all of it fits into Tyria, but every single class. It's over half an hour of composed music. Awesome stuff. And it even includes the commando at the end. Which is brilliant, and I think the commando one of these is a Rick roll. It's like another version, another composition of a Rick roll. So really cool. The guy's great. There were quite a few musical competitions. This is the only one that made it. There's another one, a beautiful song someone did of the Zephyrite. Someone just asked me in chat, am I going to do all of the submissions, not just the ones that won? I'd like to, mate, but it's over 300 videos and it's hundreds of hours to watch, so the answer is no. But if you want specific feedback on maybe one or two, I can give you a very short answer. But yeah, so yeah, it's very, very cool. I love this. It's just, does it really grow the scene? Does it get people into POF? Does it get people looking back at Guild Wars? Is this word of mouth advertising that the franchise needs? I have no doubt that the veterans would love this, and particularly people who really like music would like this. But even that, I kind of had some points against it because it's not all Guild Wars style. So if you don't agree with some of the kind of music they put in this, I guess it sort of doesn't work. But obviously, incredible amount of work that goes into it. Obviously, it's going to win a prize. So I did send the mail just there. It says mail sent successfully. But I accidentally did it immediately. So there you go. And that is... that's the next entry. So very nice. Next one. We have Guild Wars 2, A Journey Begins in 4K. And so what you'll see from this one is a sort of another category of submissions, which I do think grow the scene and are pretty goddamn good. So this is a Beauty of Viteria video, an extremely long one, 33 minutes. And as I've mentioned before, any entry that showed new stuff that people from 2012 wouldn't be familiar with, was rated quite highly to me. And obviously this is a person who's gone through loads of the new content. There's loads of HOT stuff. This is Season 3 content here, Lake Doric. Really great Beauty of Tyria video. Better than the one I made, I would say, for the purposes of getting people back in the game, because it's all stuff people wouldn't recognize. And yeah, I do think Beauty of Tyria videos are excellent as a format to get people in, and this was one of the ones I wanted to give a winning spot. This is the worst one of the category to get a winning spot. It doesn't mean it's bad, but there's some other really great ones as well that I want to show you guys, including one coming up very soon. Don't forget, these are all in the same winning bracket, so I'm not really, you know, we don't really have to that meticulously look at the two. Why did I just get rezzed? I wanted to die. Who's standing here? I don't want to be sitting here getting DPS with stupid combat music constantly. Can you just leave me dead, please? Alright, so anyway, there you go, and that is that person who just won. So there we go. Next. So how is this, guys? Are we enjoying it? Is this an okay stream format? You've proper set me... Whoever said this is boring earlier has proper set me on edge now. Now I feel like I don't know. Alright, so here's a really nice one. A particular... Well, oh, hold on. Okay, so first... This is Guild Wars 2 Pathfinder. So, of course, here we've got a very cinematic, almost machinima blend version of a Beauty of Tyria video. Obviously, they've got the letterboxing going on there. They've got some they've really cranked the saturation up. You might not agree with their reshade or whatever, but I do think it's cinematic. I do think it's very pretty. I think it's an interesting idea as well, in that it was a slightly different version of a beauty montage, in that we actually have the character in shot as well at the same time, and we get to see a little bit of Fashion Wars too in there. And I think adding that character element there, the character, might be a little bit better for getting people into the game, because they kind of want to be that tune. I mean, I actually really like the look of the cloth and stuff on that right now in the backpack. I think they chose a lot of good stuff. You know, it's not some gross ass character like my Mesmer is or whatever. I just think it's a beautiful beautiful little montage here. So another similar one. I think it did very well. Thanks very much for the sub there, Blue Dark Per. And that was coming in at 29th. Okay, so that was coming in at 29th. Next, oh wait, hold on. So let's send that mail. So this is 50 gold to Polar State. Still small fries so far, but we will be quickly cranking up the prize values very, very, very soon. What is just auto-played? Oh, this is something from later, which we obviously don't want just yet. So, web page. All right, next one is 28th. And it's a pretty special one. We're going to watch this entire video. And it's one I wish I could have rated higher.
60 reasons to play Guild Wars 2 in 2017 forward. Go! 5 races, 9 classes, each with elite variants, 19 different weapon types, environmental weapons too, hundreds of different enemies, 9 crafting disciplines, vertical progression, horizontal progression, fluid combat, active dodging, downstate, tons of skills, tons of stat types, a huge persistent world that's constantly growing, frequent patches, achievements, collectibles, ridiculous amount of cosmetics, weapon skins, armor skins, outfits, the dye system, mini-pets, personal home instances, dynamic events, activities, adventures, gliding, mounts, the Griffin, Conquest PvP, Stronghold PvP, World vs. World, guilds, guild halls, fantastic music, beautiful art, voice acting.
We gonna kill a god or what?
Gorgeous sights, big dragons, small dragons, 12 years of lore. 3 books, jumping puzzles, festivals, the super adventure box, personal story.
This is your mission.
Dungeons, challenging endgame, open world bosses, fractals in the mists, raids, legendaries, Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, constant living world updates, a friendly community, content creators. Oh yeah, and still no subscription fee.
Oh, this entry. This was one of the hardest entries for me to judge. And I just want the maker, Lily, so this is Lily Starflame. I just want you to know that you were top 10 for a very long time. But I ended up pussying out, basically, and shifting you a lot lower. This is a great video. I think it's ballsy. I think I know exactly how much work went into it. So if people don't know, years ago, ArenaNet hosted a competition like this themselves. I entered that competition. I made a video called 60 Reasons to Play Guild Wars 2, or Guild Wars 2 in 60 seconds. And I gave 60 reasons at the time that seemed like great reasons to play. And I also had 61, no subscription fee. This is a cut-for-cut remake of my own entry. When ArenaNet asked me this all those years ago, this is what I made. This is how I started. Well, it's not really how I started on YouTube. This was a big thing I did on YouTube. This is my video. But Lily has remade it, put in every drop of blood, sweat, and tears to remake it, but updated it for 2017. And it's a great idea. People want up-to-date stuff. They want state-of-the-game videos. They want to know what it's like in 2017. It's lost some points in some small ways. Like, now it feels dated because it's 2017. Title could have been updated to 2018. I know that seems like a really minor thing, but that really is a big thing that will swing views or whatever. I put it down. I knew it needed to win, and I really like Lily, and Lily's obviously been awesome, coming to so many streams and so forth. And I do still feel bad that this isn't higher, but I feel like just the fact, it just really felt really weird to me when I kept looking through the list, and it was basically me jerking myself off, saying, oh, this is the 3rd best entry, and guess what, it's the exact same fucking thing I made all those years ago. It just felt way too narcissistic and arrogant and weird. And what's a shame is I actually rate this really highly because it's so ballsy in its attempt, in its subject material. I think it's such a great idea. But I copped out in the end. Lily, it's a great video. I know how much work you put into it, and I really do think you deserve more. I think this is one of the most inspired submissions I saw. And I think that the subject material in it as well is great too, by the way. Like, there's a lot of weak... If you look at my one that was made in 2010 or whatever, 2011, there's a lot of stuff in there that's just, like, weak. It's like energy... I don't think energy potions is one. It's stuff like Bar Brawl, I think, was one of the ones I put in there. Right? Like, there's just stuff that never manifested in the game at all, or it's just like, so what? Like, what even is that? You know, they just don't mean anything. But Lily has comfortably replaced every single one that was weak with a genuinely really good contemporary thing, like the Griffin and mounts and all of that stuff. I think it's great. So there you go, and this is, again, a big insecurity of mine, because I feel like you're going to be disappointed that you didn't get higher, and in a lot of ways I think you deserve to be higher, but that is the full story. Sorry you weren't higher. Here's your 50 gold, and congratulations to you there. Moving on. Why is Guild Wars 2 the MMO you should be playing?
Try to show you why I think that Guild Wars 2 is a wonderful game, and especially worth getting into just a few days before the 2nd expansion releases. Guild Wars 2 is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game developed by ArenaNet and published by NCSoft. It is also the 2nd...
So actually, I'll tell you what, we'll talk over this. This is Sam. Sam is actually an established content creator. It's someone you guys should recognize, especially if you follow various podcasts and things. Very intelligent player, knows what they're talking about. Already on the scene, so rated a lot lower. This is quite a long video. It's 20 minutes, right? It's one of those videos where I just think the substance of what he was saying was really bang on, and I really enjoyed. And I really liked where his head was at as he made it. But as someone a little bit more established, I think he lost some points there. Also, it starts using trailers and stuff. Later, it basically just becomes like... hold on, let's scroll forward a little bit. Oh, no, no, no. What was it I was thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking of a different entry right now. No, no, no. See, we get like a lot of like stream footage essentially. But I do think it's a great video. It's more about what he says, and you guys, if anyone's follows Guild Wars 2 on any level, you'll know about Sam. And so there you go. I gave him a spot here, where his head was at, Alan and his shoulders. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't submissions like this. It's not that I don't like submissions like this. I think they deserve to be head and shoulders with everyone else. It's just I'm a bit scared of the stream getting too long with videos like this, which there are a few. So we might not spend too long talking about them. Let's just quickly go give him his prize here. I haven't typed that out. So let's just quickly come here. I always get scared with moments like this. Like Deror won a place as well, and his account name looked really suspect, like someone was just trying to steal his entry. But I checked his account tour video, and it was it was the correct one. I wonder if typing this here, congrats on winning, is going to freak people out because they're going to think they won like a super high spot, but they didn't in the end. That would be quite terrible, really, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh. All right, well, so there you go. Next, we have place 26. So this is the last of the lowest band, okay? Place 26 is called the Guild Wars 2 documentary. And so let's roll this one in here.
Khalidin Forest. So full of life. So full of wonders. So full of birds. You might wonder, what makes it so special? This beautiful place west from Sea of Sorrows is a home to one of the proudest species on the planet. It is a perfect home for new players. New players are also known as newbies. Given time, they can become veterans, pros, trolls, or noobs. But first, they need to learn the basics of Guild Wars 2. Basics like looting or dodging. Some newbies enjoy exploring new areas. This one, luckily, these creatures are rare, and most players know to avoid them at all costs. The journey of our brave newbie isn't over yet.
All right, okay, so yeah, the Guild Wars documentary, it's a machinima, it's great, it's themed around new players and disseminating information about new players. I think that's all really great for growing the scene. I think as far as retaining people in the scene, which is also a side of growing the scene, really, I think this is great as well. Sampo in the comments down there saying we need more videos like this. I do think the community needs more videos like this. I think this was great. It is text-to-speech voice. Which does, I don't like it that much. I don't like the text-to-speech voice, so this would have appeared higher if it had actual voice. I understand that it's a bit of a catch-22 though. For people who are really insecure about their voice, who don't think they've got a good voice, or don't have a good microphone, it is a real struggle. So I like the idea of like trying to get around it using text-to-speech, but I sort of get why people might be a bit put off. And again, it's not just about me, it's about, I'm trying to imagine random Mr. Call of Duty clicks the video. Are they more likely to stick about if they hear an authentic, nice, excitable, normal person, or if they hear a text-to-speech bot? Let's be honest, probably a little bit less because the text-to-speech bot. Always comes down to growing the scene, so that's why it got a little bit lower. But I really like the video, and I think a lot of work went into it, and it was a good idea and a good shot, and for that, it made it into the 26 to 35 band. So there you have it, and we've got the prize here ready to go. And you'll notice I'm now out of money. So that's 500 gold we've given away here. 500. I'm down to now 8G. And I'm sure I'll be a pro PvP and just get all that money back immediately. So don't you guys worry about that. All right, let's move on. Now, the next selection of prizes, they're all gem winners. So I don't actually have to give those away here on stream because they're gem codes. If I show a gem code on stream in the mail, they're... you guys could steal them from watching this. So what we're actually doing is we're sending them directly to people's YouTube accounts after confirmation that they want them from their mails. So that should work just fine. It doesn't, however, stop us from being able to watch and enjoy the videos. So yeah, let's run up the next one. So this is 25th place. 1/3 done already. We might speed it up a little bit as we go forward, because I know you guys want to get to the top ones. Return to Tyria. By the way, so many entries start with this, ArenaNet and Path of Fire.
The soul of Tyria mourned as her children were cut down by the beast. The land wept, and the world shuddered.
When Zaitan rose from slumber, the dragon found a long-dead nation and claimed it. Our victory at Fort Trinity will show the world that we can strike against the dragon.
Soon all will become one with the dragon.
We can assault Arar. We can destroy Zaitan before the dragon's infection claims us all.
We have succeeded, but only by coming together to fight a greater foe. Shown the way.
Fear not this night, you will not go astray. Though shadows fall, still the stars find their way. Awaken from a quiet sleep, hear the whispering of the wind. Awaken as the silence grows in a solitude of the night. Darkness spreads.
So, here, I'll try and let you hear it a little bit. So this is a great idea. It's kind of a mix of a trailer, but also a recap for people as to what's changed with the game. I really think this is beautiful. Again, just because it's a 25, that doesn't mean anything. It's as good to be nearly in top 10 for the band that it's in. I really, really, really like this video. I think it was very well done. I think it shows off a lot of content that players will have missed if they've been looking away from the game. And it's cherry-picked some beautiful moments. The Massart returning, that's going to get anyone from Guild Wars 1's cock hard. We've got the amazing fight from Lake Doric, a lot of Season 3 stuff, a lot of Heart of Thorn stuff, and even just the random little moments in the middle with like the Hollow Smith wandering around, featuring some Path of Fire NPCs and elite specs and stuff. I think it's all really good. You guys know I don't like this song that much. I don't know whether that scored against it a bit, but again, solid, solid, solid entry. The return to Tyria. Absolutely brilliant. Moving on, we've got why you should play Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire.
Hey, Guild Wars 2 is getting a new expansion. But I'm so behind. Behind what? All gear is capped at level 80. And besides, with the new expansion pack, you can get an instant level 80 with high level gear. So, what is there to really be behind about? What about the story? The story can actually go rather quickly if you want it to. The past Living World season could just be finished in about a weekend if you want it to be. A weekend? That doesn't sound like much of a story. Well, you're forgetting about the 6 maps they've dropped in over the past year. A new map every 2 months? Can they really sustain that type of world growth? Apparently. And this new expansion is adding 5 more maps that are bigger than the first expansion, and all the bi-monthly maps they've added in over the past year. So, after the expansion, they're gonna stop with this whole dropping a new map into the game every 2 months craziness, right? Nope. They've split the company.
Okay, so this one I wish I could show you more. I wish I could show it all. It really is a great video. I think it's cute. I think it's fun the way it presents information. And actually, the content of the argument as well is brilliant. There's a back and forth. I believe it's where they're talking about gear invalidation maybe or something. But it really beautifully articulates what a casual MMO would say and think about Guild Wars. And then the rebuttal. And it's so beautiful. And I just really like it. It was just, this is the kind of submission that just puts a smile on your face. It's light and fluffy, but actually tackles what's on a lot of levels is what's at the core of Guild Wars 2. It presents some great features. I just really like this entry. Kind of appealed to me on a personal level. Not quite sure why, but there you have it. So that's that one. Next we have Deanie Kong. Who was talking about World versus World, and it was really important to me that some of the World versus World representation was on this. Various montages and things never made it, just because again I'm not sure how much like one of the biggest early ones was a Rifle Deadeye entry. I'm just not sure how much that really was growing the scene, certainly retaining the scene to an extent, but then people would go in, play it, and realize it's actually crap, and you know there's certain sides of it that I just wasn't too sure about. But so here we go, Deanie Kong with World versus World.
You know what I really like? World versus World in Guild Wars 2. Not very good at it. Towers, keeps, camps, points per tick. I don't care about any of that. The best thing about World vs. World is logging in with 20 of your good friends, joining up on a party, running out there, diving face first into a group of other people, and maybe getting some fat loot out of it. Depending on how fat that blob is, of course. It's a little bit difficult to beat a group that's a lot bigger than yours. But when you do, oh my goodness. The loot, the bags, and the mag swag, it just never stops.
So, I really like this video. One, because it took balls to talk about one specific low population area of Guild Wars. It took balls to enter in a competition that was being judged by me when, you know, I'm not really too close to World versus World. But I think it presented it in a really compelling, great way. And it even got me thinking, yeah, I'd love to get in World versus World. It really highlights the community perspective. Really shows a lot of great stuff off. And I mean, it's a fairly long video. Well, it's not that long. It's 5 minutes. It's got a lot of good substance to it. A lot of fun little moments. And, you know, if World versus World is your thing, I think this is a real good ambassador for the game type. And yeah, I really enjoyed the video, and it was obviously a winning spot for me. That was very, very clear, very, very quickly for me. So there you go. That was Deanie Kong with his presentation about World versus Worlds. When it came to broader appeal, I wasn't sure how much it grew the scene, so, you know, we had some questions there. But otherwise, I think that's really good. Copy link. Okay, so next one. Working our way up the list quite quickly here. Why you might want to buy Guild Wars 2.
Today we're going to be doing a revamp of the last Guild Wars 2 where I showed you why I liked it and why I think you guys should buy it. I've had the game since pretty much launch, so 4 years, 9 months, and you know, I'm an elite player. I don't have a billion AP points and I haven't done everything in the game. I haven't gone through all the raids and unlocked all the skins. That's not the way I play. When I play slower. I play it so I can enjoy it over time. So once you hit level 80, there's kind of a point where that's it. And that was the way it was for a very long time. However, you know, things have changed a lot since.
Okay, so this is Chilled Sock. It's not all him vlogging like this. This, again, is a fairly long one. To really get the most value out of it, I think you've got to watch quite a lot. He's not always vlogging in that format, but I thought it was really nice to see someone with a decent camera setup, decent lighting, actually vlogging normally, properly about Guild Wars 2, talking about it, and his perspective as well, I think is something that a lot of people will be able to relate to as they come in. I think also Chilled Sock, it might be Chilled Sock, I think was actually quite active on the scene too, which bumped him up several places. Just generally a good entry, one I very much enjoyed. So yeah, we have this one. Next we have a really difficult one that I wanted to get higher but didn't in the end, and I'll explain why in a second. So here we go. Fate's Razor, the Queensdale Bandit.
You don't belong here. I warned you. I need help. No, please, no.
Take care of bandits, check. Fix wall, check. Water crops, okay.
Okay, so this entry. What made this extra hard is they actually posted a behind the scenes as well on the work that they put into it and the amount of effort that went through, that made it so much harder when I didn't place this too high. I mean, I'm not disparaging the work at all. I think it's amazing. I think they're exhibiting way more talent than I have. I think it's funny. I think it's full of amazing in-jokes. I think any veteran of Guild Wars 2, as you're likely to be if you're watching this stream, will love this. I love a lot of the jokes that they do. You know, it's a fantastic production, and I think that if this was a full-time series that had been airing frequently, that the community would rally around and we'd have big Reddit threads each time another episode came out and we had a proper little thing to call our own and everyone was excited about it, I think that this would be incredible and it would be one of the things to celebrate and be excited about and remember why Guild Wars 2 is special, and it would have grown the scene a lot. However, because it's not that, because it was more of a one-off and we haven't really seen too much more come out, and it was really just for the competition here. And again, what I'm asking for is a tall order, really, if to be blunt, because it's like so much work to even hit those kinds of heights. But because it's not really in that place, when I found myself really looking at it and thinking, does this grow the scene? I'm not sure it does. As amazing as it is, it's much like the music compilation stuff below, where it's like, wow, how can I throw this talent away? How can I push it to the side? These people deserve so much. This is so incredible. I'd so love this to stay being a thing for Guild Wars 2. And, you know, if I could guarantee, with a lot of these, if I could guarantee that letting them win the competition, because I kept finding myself thinking this, oh, if they win, they might make more. If they win, they might do more and more and more. But the truth is, I don't have that guarantee, and I shouldn't give people winning spots in the hopes that they'll make more, you know? The hope is that people make an entry and then whether win or lose, they realize if they have a passion for it and maybe they'll stick about on the scene. It's not like I can pay for someone's service to be a benefit to the community for X period of time. So that was something I kept getting trapped in. I do think so many people deserve so much, but for the rules of the competition, what this was about, I'm not sure it was fit for purpose, and that's always the question that kept coming to me. It's amazing. One thing I've really learned from this project is talent doesn't mean anything if it's not fit for purpose, and it's kind of challenging. But anyway, really funny. You guys should watch the whole thing. This is Fate's Razor, the Queensdale Bandit. Amazing entry, and I'm glad I could give them 800 gems there, by the way. We're at 800 gems at the moment, each of these winners. So another convincing, very good, more fit for purpose entry coming up right here. Guild Wars 2 5 years later, best game state since launch.
Guild Wars 2 is an MMORPG that launched in 2012 with one core concept in mind: get rid of all those profit-driven design philosophies that made MMOs not fun and that stopped more casual players from enjoying them. As any innovative product aiming at an underdeveloped niche, Guild Wars 2 couldn't get everything right straight away, and yet those who stayed with the game were there to watch it grow and perfect itself through trial and error. And 5 years later, with 2 Living World seasons, an expansion, another Living World season released, and another expansion right around the corner, Guild Wars 2 turned from an awkward dragon duckling asking where do I belong, into a beautiful dragon swan with a strong identity. At its launch state,
so, there's a lot to say about this entry. First of all, I would say this is my kind of video. This is the kind of video I really enjoy to watch. This is the kind of video if I put more time into each individual production, I'd like to say I'd be able to make. This is right up my alley. I love this. This is brilliant. I really like the arguments that are put forward. I like the sources. I think that a lot of work's been put into it. I think it's really good, and these are all reasons why it's got a solid winning position. I really like this video, and I also think it does grow the scene. I do think it's fit for purpose. I think that people will see this if they're outside the scene and they'll learn stuff about Guild Wars, and I think that they might be interested by the end of it to have another look at the franchise. So obviously it's like extra credits inspired. They're doing sort of a high-pitched voice thing. You can tell, you know, you can see where their inspiration comes from. But I gave it this place in the end just because I think other competition entries above it grew the scene better, frankly. And you'll notice that some of the highest ones that I gave winning places to are not this intelligent, are not this thoughtful, are not this you know, well-crafted script-wise. They're not. In terms of making discussion. And this basically comes down to that's sort of the way that YouTube works. That's the way that the world works. As much as I am a fan of this kind of not entirely dry, but drier discussion-oriented stuff, I love it. But you know, I live in the real world, and I know that this isn't always the best way to grow the scene. So that's why it wasn't higher. I think this is interesting to talk about here on the stream, though, because as I mentioned earlier, we actually have quite a salty message from Lissabirds in the comments here. So I'm gonna find it, and they describe themselves as salty, by the way, so I don't have to feel bad about that. Let's see. Oh, and someone else apparently is also salty. They might be in chat now. I don't know. Hold on, let me read Lissabird's first one. Here we go. So this is this person who made this video. This is what they say. I'm gonna read you their comment out loud. I'm going to pause the video as well. They say this. Moral of the story. No need to invest months of effort into an actual bilingual informational video. Yeah, because this had closed captions as well. Bilingual informational video about the whole game, and then sharing it with the gaming community, and then communicating about the actual game, when manipulative clickbaits on a budget or meme likes, which were whipped up real quick for fun, work so much better. Because obviously the winning, I won't say the exact things here, but the winning entries, obviously those entries, a lot more as well, conveyor belt jokes about human excrements and toxicity from giant content producers with 140k plus subscribers. Is this the scene Guild Wars 2 actually needs? Is this what actually tells potential new players what has changed in the game this 5 years and why it is better than any other game with people who can make memes about it? If I were to see these videos, I wouldn't have touched the game with a 10-foot pole, but okay, I see I'm in the minority. Obviously, I'll be called salty, and it will be hypocritical to ask for anything from WP after saying all this about the competition, so I'm forfeiting my gem prize in favor of making this point. So I'll give his point to the audience, to the community here. Rather than salty, I'm just very ... disappointed. I always expected the Guild Wars 2 scene to be above cheapish exploitation, to be less juvenile and docile, its front men included, I suppose that means me, that the Guild Wars 2 scene actually consists of some self-aware people who see through other games' exploitative nature and thus choose Guild Wars 2, and even of talented individuals like that guy who made the real-life Incinerator. But hell, it's just another computer game played by people with a lot of free time and direct access to memes. And I responded. Okay, so you guys know I've already explained this. My response here was this. I get how you feel. I said the way that YouTube works, the way that marketing works, the kind of things that are successful and why, they all kind of suck. But it's the reality of the platform, I'm afraid, I said. I did love your submission, and I'll be sending you the gems anyway. His response, which I haven't seen until the stream now, well, in this case, they say to me, you had full power to make any change to the system you wanted, but chose not to. I understand. I can't be one can't be strong for long when one's hungry, but had a choice, but a choice is still a choice. Keep the gems. I'm glad you liked it, and I know it's nothing in the grand picture compared to everything else anyway, but I made a choice and I will stand by it. So it's kind of up to you guys to see whether they're just miserable or, you know, salty or whatever. I do get what they're saying, and, you know, I've dedicated my life to YouTube, and, well, my current life to YouTube and to Twitch and stuff, and, you know, I couldn't even begin to describe fully how upset it makes me to see to see the kind of discussion and what it takes to be like a gaming celebrity or whatever, and the kind of audiences that you pander to and all of that kind of stuff. I do think I do understand what's gross about it, and I do wish it was all very dry, boring intellectual discussion all the time. But I set myself a rule, really, and I said, look, what grows the scene? And I do think it's a bit unfair to the winning suggestions. I think humor is something all on its own that can be a challenge. I do think there is some respect there, and at the end of the day, if someone with a massive existing audience comes along and makes a video and grows the game a lot, I know that's unfair, but they kind of grew the scene a lot. I mean, I don't. You're kind of telling me here, oh, you had a choice to make a change. Did I? What change? I don't think this is the battleground for any kind of massive sweeping thing. There, you're talking about society at large. There, you're talking about what the most people who have the free time to spend on the internet and watch these kind of videos, their age range, the kind of stuff they enjoy. That's not going to change with me breaking my own rules here. I liked the submission. These are the kind of videos I prefer. But did you grow the scene more than some of those other people? No, you did not. And I think that's really what it comes down to. And it is unfortunate. These are some of the like tangled issues I think that have been playing on me for a while, and what I've been insecure about when it comes to hosting and running this competition, because I know people always wrestle with it. The other thing I would say about Lissa Bird's critique here, or upset or whatever, is I really don't agree with this idea that, oh, Guild Wars 2 is above all of that. Guild Wars 2 is so much better than that. You know, we're more intellectual. We're better than everyone else. I don't like this kind of smarmy, holier than thou. Oh, we're more self-aware. We're this, we're that. We're just people. It's just a community like any other. And I don't think that we're above using humor to interest people into getting a game. At the end of the day, the retention on those videos that won this will have been much higher than the retention on your videos. As intelligent and thought-provoking and well done it was. So I am upset that, you know, someone would get so salty about not winning, but there you have it. I guess it's par for the course for a competition. And probably why most competitions like this, they're very dispassionate and non-transparent about these things, you know. I did also just see another comment as I was scrolling there. Someone else was upset, I think. Let's see here. I'm a bit disappointed with the ranking. I did the 12-minute machinima. I regret spending 35+ hours working on it. I tried to include as much of the expansion as I could visually while making the story fun. The point was to show all the wow factors of the game and Path of Fire and all the possibilities. So in my mind, the greatest scene, I should have just done the 3-minute trailer. There wasn't any machinimas in the ranking either. Yeah, there were. Call me sorry, I suppose I am, but it's for valid reasons. Well done for hosting this anyway. Well done for hosting this anyway, WP. I made some good friends out of it. I'm glad people got some joy out of it. Again, that's the thing. I think that's what I've struggled with. People putting in a lot of effort. If it's not fit for purpose, it's not fit for purpose. You know, what's important is having the right idea at the start, I think. And that's a very depressing sort of thing to find out. But I don't think I made a mistake here. I don't think I made a mistake. I had months of chance to go back on my philosophy with this. I had months of opportunity to just say, oh, who put in the most work. But I found that led me to some weird logical sort of cul-de-sacs. Like, okay, so what, this is a competition about who put in the most work? All right, so what, we just try and, you know, break it down into numbers, or like, but there's a question of talent and someone having earlier access to, you know, various assets and microphones and equipment and stuff. Like, there's just a lot of that stuff that it all felt a bit weird. I don't think that, but what I'm trying to say is I don't think following that path of, oh, it's just the people who put in the most effort should win. I think following that to its logical conclusion is no fairer than what we initially transparently set out for, which is growing the scene. There's unfairness in both sides of it, right? In terms of people having access to various things and being able to do better work in shorter spaces of time than people who are new to the scene. And at the end of the day, this was about growing the scene and introducing new people to the scene as well. So I think I'd rather go for what we originally said, right? So this is something I've thought about a lot. So I thought I'd be a lot more upset to see people be upset, but I don't think I am, actually. I think I'm sort of settled with it. I think I'm quite confident with what I went with here. So I think that's all right. Someone else said I'm disappointed with my rating. Oh, no, that was the same person. I mean, less than 1/10 of people are going to get in, so there's going to be some sour people. I mean, and most people only wanted the first place prize, let's be real. We have a winner who's salty here. 2 winners, actually, I think. I think they're both winners. It's just they didn't get all the legendaries in the game, so. In any case, there you have it. And again, none of this is like personal attacks, I hope people feel. And you guys in chat, obviously, you can come to your own opinions and think about what you think about these things. But there you go. So that was a bit of a discussion we could get out of that one. Let's move hastily on now to the top 20. No. Yes, I think the top 20 we're in now. So we're up to 1,200 gem prizes now. And let's get it rolling. I really want to look at chat. There's a lot of nice comments coming out in chat right now that I want to read, but we'll keep the pace up. We'll look at chat later.
Look at Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 released in late 2012. It promised a dynamic open world, action-oriented combat, and updates that would make you feel like you were living in the world. It's now 2017, 5 years later, and it's time to take a step back and look at the state of the game. The question is it time to give it another try? Or is it time to just let it go?
Okay, so as you can tell, similar sort of format to the one we just watched a second ago. I really like the clarity in the voice, though. I like the pacing. I like a lot of the mix as well. I think they did really well with these picture-in-picture pieces. I think there was some genuine talent that really went in through this one. And someone in the comments of this says, this is one of the ones that very well exemplifies what I was talking about earlier. People talking about the bad times. Like, this guy spends a long time talking about the bad times. He basically just lists everything that went into Guild Wars and talks about it all like it was bad until, like, right towards the end. So I do think it's one of the entrants that felt a little bit limp there, but overall was a really, really solid entrance that resonated with me. I think probably a lot of people would have watched this for a considerable period of time. I think does lay down some pretty convincing arguments in the end. So just a good entry, really. People are asking me to look at chat now. All right, fine. Hello, everybody. What am I missing here? You need to be able to find enjoyment in the process of creating content rather than how many people view it. Definitely. Definitely. Call the ambulance. Oh, you guys aren't being mean, are you? You're disappointed Tormik was missed. I don't remember Tormik's entry. There were, like I said, I think there were quite a few that I think were really good entries that never even made it into top 35, but it was because they were very similar to what was already there, and I wanted to get at least a bit of a range, and that still cut out all the artists. Uendel says, I'm disappointed too. I thought I could buy the #1 spot. Oh, I probably will get stressed out. If everyone's really disappointed and upset, I probably will get a bit stressed out here. I agree with some of these points, but in the end, I agree with WP more, I think. To say that people should like something else than what they do is a really weird thing to say. I get that you put a long time in it, be glad that you created something and be proud about it and stand tall over your creation. I get that it feels hard to stand tall if you don't place very high, though. You know. You're both right in your own ways. The sad thing is that it was said in the first place. I mean, people really... Listen, I know what it's like for people to tear down your work. You know, I've spent 7 years with the fear and the reality of people saying this was crap, this was bad, this was not good. It doesn't feel good. It's horrible. And especially when you put a lot of work in, and especially when it's your first, you know? I get it, right? Not that that's necessarily relevant in this exact thing here. Given that one of your criteria was grow the scene, why did you choose the Incineroar IRL as 3rd place? There's no doubt it's an epic video. The amount of work and brilliant... Yeah, we'll get to that soon, Lummus. We will get to that soon. And it's, again, it's because there's always this interplay of, okay, effort put in versus growing the scene kind of thing. You had a thief build with 2 pistols. Do you have a command for it? No, man, sorry. How many total entries were there? Over 300. I can't remember how many. It was very close to 300, though. Yeah, and I do agree, by the way. First place could have been a paid voice actor. I do think it might have been. But look, we got all those discussions to get to very soon. All right, so anyway, there you go. Sorry to the current entry that I didn't really look at too much there. Let's quickly move on. So where are we right now? Worth playing in 2017? Again, I think the title of this one's really good as well. Like, there's a lot I'm not mentioning on this stream. You know, my 2-minute little ramble about each one is not everything that I would have considered for each one. I really liked the title on this one. I really liked the way that they sort of broadcast it. You'll notice I only got 1,250 views. But views were another side of this as well. It was like this to me is a very highly rated video. It's a good video. I think this did everything perfectly. Even though it only got 1,250, that easily could have been 120,500 easily. It's that I tried not to fixate on too much. All right. Anyway, obviously it was super useful when they did, because it was obviously transparent that they had grown the scene. Views was very tricky too. Anyway, here we go. So why should you play Guild Wars 2 in 2017? Very similar again.
What's up everybody and welcome to my channel. I usually do game reviews and tutorials, but today's video is going to be a little different. Guild Wars 2 is releasing its 2nd expansion soon, and I've been getting back into it. Having played both World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV recently, I think I'm in the perfect position to explain why I'm choosing to play Guild Wars 2 over the other top MMOs. So here are 3 of my biggest reasons for going back to Guild Wars 2. I'll also give a quick rundown on the new expansion Path of Fire at the end of the video, so stay tuned.
Oh, I just saw in chat. Was that previous video the one with all the really artistic parallaxing, by the way? I don't know, if it was that as well, that was something that really impressed me with that. Alright, so anyway, this one we're currently watching. Again, I think it was really on point with what it was talking about. Talking about perspective of other contemporary MMOs. I think this was the perfect amount of editing. It doesn't steal the show. It talks about the relevant things that people need to know about. It talks about price points. It hits all of the major beats, and it does it in a good time frame as well. 7 minutes 30. This thing, brevity. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know how to do that on the internet. This guy does. And so I think think I was really impressed with that, and I thought that went really well. So yeah, just absolutely solid, rock solid entry, and kind of to me, this is one of the best versions of that style of video you can have. Yeah. So yeah, very good. Next, we've got Sampo, who, just I'll add, by the way, a lot like Ada, who looked at basically all the entries and did a really long, like 3-hour production that never scored on the top 35 in the end, by the way. Sampo was on a lot of these videos, very active, really good for fostering the scene, really nice and comforting to everyone else's entries, just really solid top person, I think. And you've probably seen this video. We will watch it again. Let's do it.
To the 1, from the 1 to the 3. Want to see yourselves what expansion pack means. Challenges that you would just never complete if you hadn't learned these new skills and abilities. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I think you will need new masteries. As the single most growing community, we please aren't we with our top tier team. Guild Wars 2 is the game about the journey, this division. And it is also this expansion of collection of specializations. For each of the professions is the solution for better character progression, new creatures, real rewards, deeper features, and the ultimate living world seasoned experience. Thank you, and thank you, expansion pack. Value. Now I am packed with leyline energy. Yes, we have such an exciting day today. There is no quest givers in the game. No endless year treadmill, leaving behind all that old content. No, I'll put it simply. So, your max level characters with your top tier gear today are still gonna be your max level characters with your top tier gear tomorrow. Give that. No. You'll need. 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 Give that. No. You'll need.
All right, so there you go. That's the Sampo entry. Basically, chat in Twitch chat right there. You guys just exemplified everything I feel about this. It's a great video. It's a funny video. It's a linkable video. Someone just said in chat, wow, I would link this to my friends. Boom, that is the secret sauce of YouTube. Can you get people to want to link it to their friends? And this is the kind of video that it does. It's themed around POF, at least vaguely. At the end of the day, it is just a meme video. And I can only imagine how annoyed Lissabird would be, and those with that mindset would be, if I'd given Sampo the win. Sampo also established on the scene, so lost some spots over that. But yeah, great fun video, and I'd recommend you check out his channel, obviously, because there's a lot of stuff like that. But there you go. And also, not exactly my cup of tea, but I appreciate the value that videos like that have. Next one is probably the most interesting and creative and weird idea that anyone had. And I count that even above replicating my 60 seconds video, which I talked about earlier. This was really, really, really odd for me to see. And I do think justifiably may have grown the scene because it hits a different demo. So what is this? This is Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire Makeup Tutorial. Quick and easy sunset eyeshadow. Seriously.
Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I've created this bold and bright makeup look inspired by the new Guild Wars 2 expansion pack, Path of Fire. It takes place in the Crystal Desert, a harsh and dangerous environment corrupted by the elder dragon Kralkatorrik. As he flew over the desert, he blighted the land with his dragon brand, turning the desert sand into crystalline amethyst. To celebrate our venture into the Crystal Desert, I thought I'd combine my love for makeup with my guilty pleasure, Guild Wars 2. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. To create this look, I'm going to be using the Mermaid's Forever.
Alright, okay, and so then obviously she goes off the actual makeup tutorial. So yeah, somebody just said I'm a woman and I don't think this deserved it. Listen, this did not score high because girl. There were actually quite a few women, female engineers. That doesn't mean anything to me. I thought this was a really creative idea though, and mostly I thought it was good for growing the scene because it's a category of people who, and I know makeup videos and makeup tutorials are super successful on YouTube. There's a huge market for them, and to find the intersection between that and MMO players and Guild Wars 2, I think that's a really good idea. And so I think that it deserved a place. Also, it's, you know, as far as vloggy makeup videos go, it was actually all right, you know. And it's different. Like you gotta. This is the kind of thing I find this so hard, and there's one of the main reasons I was questioning this as I placed this one too. it's difficult because I don't know whether you guys have any experiences like this, but if you watch 300 videos that are all very similar about the same stuff, the ones that are different really pop, okay? They're like real breath of fresh air. So it's very hard for me to know. I mean, I really do like this video, and I think it deserves it, and I've delayed releasing this competition results until I'm as comfortable as I possibly can be with the decisions I've made. And I don't think I've just placed this because it was different from the others, but I do think it genuinely hit a cool idea. I think it was well executed, and yeah, it was a nice idea. So yeah, I mean, it's not like it got first place, but I'm pretty happy with that, and I think it was a really cool idea. Absolutely surprised, kind of blew my mind when I remember when I first clicked this on the very first watching. I was like, wow, this is extraordinary. I can't believe somebody's done this. So yeah, good job to her, really creative, and it's fit for purpose. So what more can you ask for?
So this is a rare moment for me.
Moving on, well, this is one of my favorite videos. By the way, the winners weren't necessarily my favorite videos. My actual favorite video only just made it into the top 10. Actually, I'm going to ask you, chat, which do you think my favorite video was? Not because, again, this wasn't Wood and Potato's favorite videos competition. This was about growing the scene. What do you think my favorite video was? What was the best video for me? And does anyone have any ideas? I'm curious. Doombox? No, it wasn't Doombox. Doombox was not my favorite video. My favorite video was my favorite video by a really long way. Yeah, somebody's guessed it. Somebody has guessed it. We'll get to it in a second. Moving on, we're at 15th now. This is Guild Wars 2, Tyria after Zaitan. This also, the reason why I asked you that question is because I really enjoyed this one. I think this one was great. So here we go. Like, really fantastic. So look, someone just said Zaitan again, how original. Yeah, but you can't judge it that way. Not everyone who watches this video has seen Zaitan a million times, so you've got to be careful. So, yeah, this video, incredible. I'm really happy to see Maple Ace was in chat there. Dude, this is one of my favorite ones. This is so good. But, however, this is my favorite as someone who has memories of all of these patches and enjoys them. You lost a few points for what will look like arbitrary reasons, but, I mean, I had to dive into arbitrary reasons in the end. Well, not arbitrary. Small reasons, you know, it doesn't take much to shift spots because I love all these videos so much, right, at the higher end. So let me just say, one thing I was wondering about with this video, it's a great idea, but I also wonder whether it really grows the scene or just gets people annoyed that they can't play Season 1. And also, I get, like, the idea of it is, oh, here's a recap that will quickly catch you up so that you can play the Path of Fire story. But does it really do that? No. I actually think why people would enjoy this is existing players who are fond of Season 1 or who never played it and now want to do, but they can't. So I'm not really sure how well it serves Guild Wars, but it's beautiful. It's so well edited. It clearly had tons of work put into it. You know, each of these little shots, organizing them all, you pick great music with it. I love it. I think it's a really good video, but in terms of like how much this viewership and this video might have tangibly grown the scene, I'm not too sure. It was, I'm sure, thoroughly enjoyable for many of us vets. The other thing is you titled it the Path of Fire Countdown Finale. No one will watch that anymore. No one will think that's relevant. Not now that not the day after Path of Fire release, not a week after Path of Fire release, certainly not months later. So I think that that was something as well. I mean, it really, you might think, oh, what, just the title, but it's all quite important, I think, for growing the scene. These videos can be online forevermore now, and they can keep working for Guild Wars 2 forevermore. So I've been thinking about that when I watch them. But yeah, so really good entry. I love it. I think it's great. great. And I wouldn't be surprised if some people thought this should have been #1 and it wasn't in the end. I just, again, it's how much this tangibly grew the scene afterwards. I would question. But it was very, very good, dude. Alright, next we've got Guild Wars 2, Part of My Life. This was also one I really enjoyed. Very strange video.
Is to ask why the leaves fall. It is in their nature. Perhaps.
Guild Wars 2 is a 10 out of 10. Legendary.
Oh.
With a badass crew. Now let me get this straight before you start bitching. There is no...
Wow.
We heal as one. I won't let you have them.
With Zaitan defeated, corruption it wrought can be undone.
All right, I'm turning it down. I'm realizing here it's really hard to... You guys are probably watching this thinking, why has this got a high place? It's really hard when we can only watch a clip of the video. Basically, this is just a really bizarre, strange video with this guy that doesn't... There's no commentary, there's no script, there's no dialogue at all. But he talks basically about his entire experience with Guild Wars 2, the franchise, through all the years and the products that they've released. And he's doing these weird, like, voices, like I don't know whether you guys remember, but at launch of Guild Wars 2 there's that video of the Muppets or whatever at the computer when the servers go down, and they're like, oh, button, press button. That he's like making noises like that. This just painted the massive smile on my face for about the 5 or 6 times I watched it in full. I found this hilarious and adorable and charming. It even like represents like quite a dark moment where he seems, you know, like really quite grim and quite depressed and upset, and then, you know, it all ends up coming together as POF's coming out later. It's just a great video, really fun, weird, unique video, and I enjoyed it. That's basically what it came down to. And I can imagine other people actually watching this and being like, what? Like squinting vaguely at the screen, but watching it and watching it and watching it and enjoying it. And so I wanted it to place high because, I don't know, it was a profound experience for me. I liked it. So there you go. That was 14th Guild Wars 2 Part of My Life. Next, a much more readily clippable and explainable video. This comes from an existing content creator who's rated down for it. It's The Raw.
Wait, what? Oh no! I guess I could spend the time being productive.
So, this is kind of Duraw's sort of cheesy style humor. I really enjoyed this. He had a moment later on where I don't know, I guess this is his girlfriend, is it? Or just a woman that he lives with. She throws the laundry off to the side and the lamp lights up in the background. I thought it was really cool. There's just a lot of really good little moments in it. Fun video, obviously as someone established in the scene. Also, to the other extent as well, I'm not sure how much this really grows the scene other than giving something people to rally around. But I did enjoy it and I thought Darrell put a lot of work into it and I think it was a good entry. So there we go. We won't watch the whole thing, obviously. We think the stream is already quite long. I can't believe it's already so long. Moving on. Copy... link. Okay, so the next one is Guild Wars 2. So the next one had the potential to be #1. Seriously, very easily, this could have been #1. Kritzloff. So let's see. So what a cool idea! So this is Guild Wars 2 guerrilla marketing, actually printing stuff out, running around the real world, and putting posters up, and vlogging of it. Simple, well executed, great idea. What a good idea. And seriously, perfect kind of channel for it to have come from. I think this would have been amazing. Only 198 views on this bad boy, but absolutely incredible idea. Really well executed as well, except someone just said it could have been #1, but instead it got number 12. Again, don't forget it's banned, so the 12 doesn't really mean anything. This could have been, what, like 24th, and I still would have valued it as well. But what do you think my problem with this is? My problem with this is, and what I wasn't sure about, is I don't know, but I get the feeling that they didn't actually go through with it, and instead they found a single pillar, and they just put posters on the one pillar. Every shot is of this same thing. It's like they didn't actually have the balls to do it. It doesn't feel like each is in a different location. I also don't get any reactions of pedestrians looking at the posters and wondering what they are or whatever. A little bit of that in there, more variety, more and like they're all very close frame. I think that's to obscure the fact that the background's the same. So I don't know, really. And because I wasn't sure about that, I think it lost a lot of marks. This was such a solid idea. It would have been so good to have, you know, seen them, you know, ninja put it on the back of a bus or some shit. It would have been great. And I mean, it is great. It is great. It's just that could have been a #1 with a slightly different execution, I believe. But what a great response there. And there you go. So let's pause that as well before that goes any further. Does the legitimacy of the guerrilla marketing matter? Yeah, it does. It does, man. It does. It's about growing the scene. It's not just about making a video that pretends to grow the scene. I don't know what that is. It's about... I mean, that was a really incredible idea. So I think the legitimacy does matter. I wrestled with that a bit, but I think it does matter. That's the conclusion I came to. Maybe you believe it doesn't, but I think it does, actually. Swedish small towns are the cutest. Sweden's like heaven on earth, really, as far as I understand of the world. It's like the best place to live. All right, so there you go. Anyway... Next, moving on. So we are now at top 10. These people are winning 4,000 gems, so that's $50 plus a mini egg each. Why I chose to play Guild Wars 2 from Commentate.
Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today I'd like to talk about Guild Wars 2 and why I choose to play it. I've been playing on and off since it released way back in 2012, usually leaving to check out other games, but always coming back. But over the past year, I've been playing pretty regularly and even decided to make a YouTube channel dedicated to helping new players figure this game out and get started playing. So for this video, I'd like to talk about why I play in hopes that maybe it's really good. Not only do you have access to a which are mini.
All right, okay, yes, guys, I did. I accidentally missed, I missed number 11, so we'll go back down. On this one specifically, though, coming in at number 10, I just think Commentate did a really good job with the footage, the variety of footage that's on there. The visuals really pop here. This looks like a game I would want to play. I think the commentary is clear. I think it makes good points. I think the length of the video is really good. I think the title's got a little bit to be desired. I think on this one particularly, the comment section was really good. Like, I counted it against the video if like the comment section was full of people saying, oh yeah, but the game's well shit, blah 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 blah, and like the person hasn't curated it and removed a few of those or whatever, or you know, given convincing arguments as to why they don't believe that and so on. If it was just a salty cesspit, if it was a heavily disliked video, all of those things were problems. I think Commentator had like a really good just vibe and feeling around the entire thing. I think anyone who stumbles across this on YouTube would be picking up Guild Wars 2, and I think it was a really good video. I think it was a great execution of a style of video that a lot of people went for. So that was Commentate, and that was 10th place. There was also, of course, 11th place here, so sorry about skipping past that. Let's look into Guild Wars 2 2017 Char Friendly Edition. And, wait, who's busted? What's this?
First reason, I've always loved playing Guild Wars 2. It destroyed my experience with any MMORPG I've played throughout my life. With the new expansion of Guild Wars 2 coming soon called Path of Fire. I've been wanting to make a video for quite some time.
Okay, so this one is kind of a nice middle ground between the meme style, edited, you know, adolescent style videos that I think capture so many people's attentions. This had big marks against it, by the way, for doing this, for talking about my competition, but I think it did it in a good enough way that it didn't really drag it down too much. So yeah, I just really enjoyed this video. Also, it's got the new player guide sort of experience on there, so I'm not convinced that new players really will come to this video for advice, but again, I think that one of the biggest, most important things is a video that you can link to your friends. And I think if I was trying to get someone into Guild Wars 2 who was, you know, looking for some fun and just like, you know, like this kind of humorous look at the games and a lighthearted approach, I think this is the kind of thing you would link to that new player to teach them about how to do it, right? Well, so that they can, you know, listen on their phone when they're on the train on the way home from work or something before they install it. I think that this is actually the kind of video that would do very well. People, when they're starting out the MMOs, wouldn't want really long, intense, in-depth, massive explanations like I would on my channel create or whatever. So I think this was a really good middle ground. It's not fully comprehensive, but no 12-minute production can be. And where it fails to be comprehensive, I think this video is really good at just sort of being blunt about that and fun about it. So yeah, that was a look into Guild Wars 2 2017 Char Friendly Edition. That was the new player guide, essentially, which is kind of what it's going for. Moving on, why you should get Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire. This is number 9.
Oh my god, mounts! Holy shit, look at the raptor! Look at him, he can jump! And the jackal, look at him, he can freaking blink, dude! What the fuck? There's also a bunny. Here's why you should get Guild Wars 2 Pants of Fire. First of all, most importantly, the elite specializations. I mean, come on, this is like 9 almost completely new classes. This alone is enough in my opinion to get the new expansion. They all look freaking awesome. That's basically 9 new great looking classes to play around with. What is there not to like? Next, let's move on to the mounts. This is another new thing in the expansion. Now, what's so cool about the mounts is that they have unique mechanics about them. They aren't just like Dick Butt the Fire Line from World of Warcraft.
Oh, sorry.
Who just sits there looking nice, not paying his goddamn bills. Holy fuck, man. Pay your rent. I've had enough of your shit. The Raptor can jump long distances. The Springer can jump a lot vertically. The... what the hell is it? He can skim above water and environmental hazards. Like your mom. Got him. Got him. I'll be here all week, everybody. I'll be here all week. And lastly, we have the Jackal who can teleport. Teleport Wolf.
Okay, so here we go. So Lord Waffles. So I think some people might have expected this to win. I do think it's fit for purpose. I do think it grows the game. I mean, its entire thing is about growing the game. There were several things that knocked this down the list for me, though. One, I mean, this is no way to disparage Lord Waffles or to, you know, act like a cut above or whatever. These really isn't my kind of video. I mean, this is extremely sweary. This is extremely deep, you know, on that end, which, you know, I favored videos like this in the top 10. But, I mean, it was quite extreme. For me, for my old man, horrible, boring taste, this was quite a grating video for me. In some ways, but I also think it was really good for growing the scene. There were certain other things that maybe meant it didn't get the number one. I think their channel currently, they mostly just play other games or do random productions about different things. And also, it was very Path of Fire centered, and that's not necessarily the be-all and end-all for the competition. The name Get Poff for the website, I think it was, that was actually only a placeholder name for the competition. I think I was very clear about that in all those walls of text that I wrote before. But it is a great video, and I think it was very much obviously deserving of a top 10 spot. And, you know, if the scene has consistent YouTubers that use this kind of style, I think the scene would really be good for that. But Waffles doesn't really do this consistently at the moment. So there you go. Anyway, that's Lord Waffles. And I'm sure a lot of you guys really enjoyed this. And had someone else been hosting this competition, I can imagine they would have won very, very easily, very quickly. But there you go. Really solid entry, obviously. Okay. Hello, Benji. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So next on the list, we've got... Okay. Next on the list. Okay. Now, this did not win the competition. It's sort of at the bottom of the top 10. When I first saw this, I thought this would be number one. It was a month ago. When I first saw this, I thought this is it. This is the number one. But as time's gone on, it shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk to where it now is. This legitimately, this is the video I enjoyed more than any other by a wide margin. It's not a video that's... Clearly, it's not a video that's had as much effort put in as the others. It's not as cinematic of a video. It's not got as compelling of an... It's not got an argument at all, really. So it's not really fit for purpose that well, but it is leagues and miles above every other video in terms of me entertaining it. This was my favorite video as Wood and Potatoes, not as a new player, not as someone seeking to get into Guild Wars 2, not as a competition judge, not as any of these things, but I mean, to a certain extent, it's always going to be me as a competition judge. This was my favorite video, but it only gets 8th place because, you know, well, you'll see. Oh, it's quiet. I don't know. It might be too quiet for you guys.
I'll just tell you in layman's terms what all these classes are. Alright. So the warrior is basically, this is how you will look when you get to a high level. It's just a warrior.
So I think it's too quiet. I think I'll just talk over it, okay? After all that build up, I'll just talk over it. This is Mum Plays Guild Wars 2. This is a video that I when I was when I was talking about running the competition, I was giving people tips in the early days, the kind of videos that would be good. As I said, if I made one for this, I was going to get my older brother, who hasn't played the franchise for years, to play and vlog and whatever. This guy ran with that bull, and I think it's brilliant. It's so fun. So this guy just gets his mum to play Guild Wars, and she's terrible. But she's a great sport. She's fun. It will make you laugh. It's a very, very fun video. And it does somewhat at least put the idea in people's head of, hey, maybe I should get my family member, you know, probably not your mum, but a family member of some description into the game. And it will remind people of the joy of playing the game together. And it's just funny. The guy throws this poor woman head first into PvP. The lady doesn't even know how to, like, use a skill. And he throws her into, like, a ranked conquest game. I actually think it's unranked. I don't think he went into ranked. That would have actually been a bit cheesy and trolly. But he puts her in there. He takes her into World vs. World. He shows the first fractals, showcases various aspects of Guild Wars 2. It's just a really fun video. So again, this is not a first place prize because obviously it's not deserving of a first place prize, and I hope that that one guy recognizes that. And you know, he's shoulders. But right in shoulders with some real heavy hitters right now. But I wanted this guy to win something good because honestly, I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this video, and I recommend you guys go check it out. He's even got like a little thug life in the middle of it. Yeah, it's nice. Moving on. Another Guild Wars 2 beauty montage. Guild Wars 2 is beauty. Oh no, this isn't a beauty montage. My mistake. I think we've seen this.
I'm Rin, and today I have a special video for you. Something I've been working on a long time. A really long time. Today I'm asking you for just 10 minutes. Just a tiny slice of your day, so I can show you where my heart is. Gaming has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. The first game I ever remember playing was called The Land Before Time animated movie book. From there it moved to Pokemon and Mario. I played the Tycoon games, Spyro, Crash. I quested with Zelda and I pwned noobs in Halo, but then something changed. I discovered a genre of games I could immerse myself in completely. I could take on the identity of these characters.
Okay, I'm going to mute it there. And how do you guys feel with me muting that there? How do you feel? Probably a bit annoyed? Probably like, oh, hold on, I was listening to that? Yeah. The guy's compelling. It's a great, great script. It's heartfelt as fuck. It's really good. It ropes you in. You want to hear about his experience with MMOs. You want to hear about how Guild Wars affected him. You want to hear the point he has to make. And I think it's one of the most heartfelt, brilliant entries that was put in the competition. And case in point, me dragging the volume down there, you guys, if you're even remotely thinking, oh, I wanted to hear a bit more of that, that's a sign that it's a good entry. That's high retention there. And I think really, really solid. So that's why this one comes very high. So yeah, I actually, watching this now, I mean, you guys have to understand, as confident as I am in this, my opinions about where people should be are constantly changing, and you can only be so confident. Watching this right here on the stream, I actually wish I'd put this a little bit higher, but there you have it. I mean, it's only a small regret. Here we go, moving on, we've got Guild Wars 2, reasons why you should retry and pick up this fantastic MMO. Beautifully targeted title. Let's watch.
What if there is an MMO that allows you to play however you want, where you are not forced to grind endlessly for gear that expires within the next year? An MMO that has a wide variety of endgame content, with massive world bosses that require a plethora of players to defeat, a high production story, a massive and respectful community, and an evolving world with content galore. Well, there is. Hey guys, I'm PrimeScore, and this is why you should play Guild Wars 2.
So, PrimeScore here, I think, probably made the best straight up like advertisement, you know, like just raw, hey, I'm not buttoning this up, this isn't my life story, this isn't, oh, the game was bad but give it a try again, this is just straight up, hey look, this is a good game and here's why. And I think they have a really good selection of different things, great advertising technique. I think they did very, very well. And I think this is a great linkable video, and clearly was a well-linked video with its 30k views there, which again is not always the be-all and end-all. It's, you know, just a contribution. I think he grew the scene with it. It's as simple as that, and I think it was deserving of a really solid place. Again, you're not going to get the full content of these, but look, I mean, look at the cinematography there with his part 1 end game. I think it's good. It's really solid. And he gets into it fast, and it's a good length as well, by the way. Okay, moving on, slightly higher here. Sorry, who are we? We're on, so that was 6. So 5th place now. Another similar video. And again, it's really, you guys might even be getting a bit of a taste of it here. These videos are all really similar, but just because they're similar doesn't mean that they're, you know, this next one we're watching is worse just because it's the next one on the list that we've seen. If we'd watched this one first, we might be raving about it first. Do you get what I mean? So anyway, here we go. Things I value in Guild Wars 2 and why you should play it.
Video kind of like a vlog. It's gonna be the first video like this on my channel, maybe the last train. There are like 50 different people all with the same goal in mind, to kill this boss and get rewards. And whenever there's specific mechanics, people will talk and communicate in the map chat to organize these different aspects of the game. What's really cool is, like, using a world boss for example, is that no matter what you do within the fight, as long as you participate and help achieve.
Okay, so this is Rayo. Rayo really impressed me because, number one, the video is solid. I mean, you're not going to get this high without having a genuinely solid video. Good for all the reasons I've already articulated. We don't have to go over them again. Rayo kind of had a bit of the cheat codiness, though, going up. I haven't mentioned this enough in this stream. A lot of these people rated high if they were doing frequent videos, by the way. Rayo's, like, on the scene, guys. Rayo is an example of someone who's joined the Guild Wars 2 scene, is making Guild Wars 2 videos, and getting thousands of views. The dude's doing well, and it's good. I think him being an established presence around it grows the scene as much, if not more, than this video entrance that he's done here. I think this was his first video where he did face cam. All of the comments are basically men saying, listen, I'm not gay, but I would bend over in front of you if you wanted me to. It's people loving him, right? And I think it's just a great video. It was really nice to see. This was definitely one of the entrants that I thought, you know, this is a person that clearly does care about Guild Wars 2, play a lot of, and is making a lot of great videos about the game at the moment, which was always something that helped people go up a few notches. So yeah, really, really great stuff. And again, I'll point out as well, the arguments you make are quite compelling, and it's well targeted as well to his formative experiences with the game, which I think you will listen to, and they'll probably resonate with you on some level. So that was 5th place. And again, so many of these here, they could have chopped and changed. Okay, so here's the next one is 4th. And I think that most people thought this was going to win the entire thing. So let's watch.
So I've played Guild Wars for over 12 years now. I remember back when my friend first showed me this game way back in like 2005. At that point, it was like the most exciting thing I had ever seen. The next closest thing I had played before that was RuneScape. So you can only imagine how excited I was, like, to be able to play an online game that didn't look like it was, you know, like made on a calculator and actually had different abilities you could create fun and unique builds with. It had missions, fully explorable zones, cool armor and weapons, half-naked chicks, endgame areas. I mean, it had everything. How could this game possibly get any better?
So this is Doombox, okay? So a little bit of a story about this YouTuber. This guy is like the original Guild Wars 1 YouTuber in a world where Guild Wars 1 was new and fresh, and most videos were just music dance videos and compilations and stuff. Doombox was only the really big, successful, decent, guide-oriented, vlog-ish oriented Guild Wars 1 YouTuber. He was the man, okay? And I'm talking early days. I'm talking before I started my Let's Play. By the time I got to YouTube, this guy was inactive already, and he wasn't doing things anymore. I can't really say he inspired me to get into YouTube. I didn't really watch any of him until long after I was sort of established, but he's clearly done a lot for Guild Wars. And if YouTube had become the phenomenon that it is today, except back around 2005, 2006, this guy would be, you know, his life would be very different right now. It would be aligned to something like mine, possibly, you know, he would be making a living on this kind of thing. It would be his bread and butter. But YouTube wasn't such a thing. Monetization on YouTube wasn't such a thing. And obviously the long wait for Guild Wars 2 kind of burnt him out of it. So anyway, he's tried a few times since Guild Wars 2 came out to start making videos again, and he does the odd one every now and then, but not consistently. He even jokes about that in this video, so I don't think he'd mind or be offended me saying that out loud here. But so he entered the competition. I was really floored to see him enter the competition. I've never actually spoken to the guy. But he seems really nice, and obviously it's an amazing video. It's a Doombox video. It's every bit as great quality as way back in the day. Yeah, you know, like even right now on screen, he showed off the original Guild Wars 2 logo there. Not the Guild Wars 2 logo we know of today. That's the original one. There's a lot of little really beautiful, awesome things here. And I think this easily could have been number one. To someone else's eyes, to someone else's ears, this easily could have been number one. However, I think where this... I mean, I feel weird, because really this is supposed to be a celebration of what's good about these videos, and yet I'm being a snob and saying X, Y, and Z. The reason why I felt... in the final running, and again, he moved around a lot, that this ended up... I mean, this was like second for a long time for me. It's actually the discussion itself. It's something I mentioned earlier on the stream. He tells a very lovely story, and a very compelling and a great story about his journey through Guild Wars and whatnot. But I'm not sure it really lands pointedly enough on, hey, Guild Wars 2 is good, give it a shot. I think it's a good video, and people love it because what he says resonates with them. There's a ton of people disappointed in the way Guild Wars 2 went. There's a ton of Guild Wars 1 players that loved Guild Wars 1 and hate the changes that went through and identify with them. There's a ton of Guild Wars 1 players who now have to work for a living and have to do this and that, and, you know, all the... This is a good video for those people. Does the video grow the scene as much as some of these other ones? Does he talk enough about Guild Wars 2 of today? Does he actually talk about enough of what POF is angling for that he might actually like? I think if this video did anything, I mean, and it's to his own credit that he accomplishes this, I think he convinces me more than anything else that he probably won't like Path of Fire that much. That's actually what I come out of this feeling. So does it grow the scene enough? I think that's why it came down to 4th place in the end. Again, if it's talent, if this was a competition purely about talent or effort put in, the rankings would have been different. But I think the way that the discussion felt, as honest and true as it was, and, you know, brilliant, like he's even got the PvE guy in this. It's great. But for growing the scene, I just think it fell a bit flat, you know, in the end. So that is what I really took away from the Doombox thing. I'd be curious to see if anyone agrees with me or disagrees in chat. But there you go. So that's Doombox. And again, though, it doesn't get 4th place without me thinking it's an amazing video. So let's look at number 3. So by the way, these people are winning a lot of money now. Doombox won 6,000 gold. The guy before him won 5,000 gold. This person is going to win 7,800 gold. And for good reason.
To craft Incinerator, you need the Gift of Incinerator, the Gift of Fortune, the Gift of Mastery, and the Precursor Spark. We'll start with the Gift of Incinerator. To make the Vial of Flame, you need to combine the Aurora 2 additive costing 245 gold with some distilled water. The Superior Sigil of Fire can be bought off the TP.
Alright, okay, I'm going to mute this early because somebody sent a message. So this is like jaw-dropping, what the hell amazing. When I saw the first existence of this, it was a Reddit thread announcing the project before it was finished and some work in progress images, and I couldn't believe that it was going to be a competition entry. So here's a question from Lumus in relation to this video. I'm going to ask again. Given that one of your criteria was, will it grow the scene, why did you choose the Incinerator in real life as the 3rd place? There's no doubt that it's an epic video. The amount of work and brilliance needed to do an IRL Incinerator is mind-boggling, but does it appeal to new players and inform them about the game? It's a great question. I actually don't have a really good answer for you. That's the truth behind it. Now, I can say, just any successful video, no matter how it gets its success, can be potentially justified as having grown the scene, because if it's a successful video, it's being linked around, it's being talked about, the subject material is Guild Wars 2, it's raising Guild Wars 2's profile. So there's this incredible Incinerator video. I don't know who, well, I do know, there's plenty of people, but if I'm going to link someone a video about Guild Wars 2 that doesn't play it anymore, it's probably going to be something like this, right? Or, you know, I can imagine linking this video to people who, in my life, who are in my real life, that I don't even really know if they play games to that extent. But look, this guy actually made this weapon from a game. It's insane. And it's Guild Wars 2, and it raises Guild Wars 2's profile. So I think to that extent, we can justify that this grows the scene. And I think that this does infuse a lot of excitement. And reading the Reddit threads that came from this, the comments that came from this, the way that people looked wide-eyed at this, I do think it does something. I think it makes Guild Wars 2 look like a happening place with lots of things going on. So I think from all of these perspectives, it grows the scene. Does it grow it that much? I don't know. And that's why it's a hard thing to answer, because the truth is maybe not that much. But there is a balance. With every single one of these videos I did, as I said, I always try to default back to, does it grow the scene? But I do also, you know, the other factors aren't always eliminated. There was clearly a ridiculous amount of effort that went into this. Someone built the Incinerator in real life. And another big thing that clinched this, by the way, and helped them get a high spot, was they've said multiple times that they're making the Predator next. So they're actually going to make a goddamn rifle. I don't know whether that project will go through. If it does, I'll feel much more comfortable with my decision here. But the idea that they're actually going to stick about on the scene, making more of this, there's a reason as a Guild Wars player to subscribe to this guy, to keep watching the Guild Wars scene and seeing this related stuff. I think that's important. Also, they were very careful to not just have it be about making the Incinerator. They actually tied it to a gameplay guide. So this is, on some level, going to inspire people to, oh my god, yeah, I'm making Legendaries in Guild Wars. That's cool. It's going to, you know, encourage that kind of stuff. And I think that that's something else that I had on my mind. So yeah, there is a bit, I mean, I'll be perfectly blunt, there is a bit of it where it's like, if I gave this guy nothing, how could I sleep at night, sort of thing. Like, he's put in that much effort. You know, he and his dad have built this thing, and what, I'm not going to give him anything, you know, like, it almost feels a bit like that. I'll be honest, there's a little bit of that in there. But again, because it's not easy. It's not easy. This was not an easy project. You know, at the end of the day, I'm proud to have given them something, and I'm happy to have. It's obviously not number one. And I bet they're salty and upset that they're not number one, really, because no one really came even close to this, did they, in terms of effort? I don't think they did. Maybe I put too much weight on, you know, vloggy style things, but still, I mean, Jesus. Incredible submission. If you guys want to watch more, you should definitely check it out. Look at all these people coming into chat saying, did I miss the giveaway? Just leeches, just absolute leeches that see the word giveaway in chat and they think, oh, I'll just go in there to get some stuff. With no context of what's actually going on. Brilliant. Oh, by the way, another thing, cheesy little thing that made me enjoy this more. Hotline Miami music. Hell yeah. I think this is Hotline Miami 1, not Hotline Miami 2. And who doesn't like some Hotline Miami OST, man? Who doesn't like that? Some of the greatest music that's out there. All right. Number 2. Number 2 kind of stands in stark contrast to the Incinerator. I don't actually think... Let me... But before we... Well...
Hey, you lazy sack of human excrement. Why aren't you playing Guild Wars? What? Why, you ask? My dear friend, there is so much to explore. Jungles, deserts, mountains, space. Oh. Listen, do you like Super Mario 64?
Yahoo! Oh, yeah.
And do you like swords and magic?
Yeah, they're cool.
Well, combine them, and Guild Wars is kind of...
All right, we won't watch the whole video here because we haven't watched the whole video for everyone else. This is number 2. Returning to the criticisms from earlier about giving top spots, basically, this comes straight down to, does this grow the scene much? I think it does, enormously. I think if you look at the reaction to this video in the comments, if you look at the way that people have taken to it, if you look at the kind of likes that it got, yes, the viewership helps, but I think that there's a lot of convincing stuff in, not just in the video itself, but as the body of work, as what you can see under it. You've also got to look at the person that made it. This is a person on a variety gaming channel. This is a person that appealed to those who understand broader variety gaming and, you know, found that hook for them. Like they even mentioned the Mario 64 in there. I think that this was really impressive to me because it seemed like such a warm, welcoming video for people that were really, truly, genuinely interested in picking up the game. There were lots of comments, people saying, oh yeah, I'll go in there and try it out. It seemed to grow the scene a lot. It was short, it was concise, it was really nice. It was funny. I think it was a great entry. Now, here's the thing. It was kind of a video as well, I think, that it's just another small project for the guy that made it. Obviously, it's back-to-back with several other things, and in all of those places, it might feel like they're less deserving. There wasn't also either too much sign that this person plays that much Guild Wars 2. So these things were things that I really struggled with. One thing I kept coming back to was, should the thought, will the prize be appreciated, factor into my judging decision? And at some point I came to the decision that no, it shouldn't. Because then it just becomes like about who has the best sob story or stuff that's beyond the point. The point is to grow the scene. Yeah, again, I mean, I've said that a million times here, but this is really all I've had to ballast myself with this. So yeah, and going by those criteria, I think I'm very happy for this to have been a second place. These videos didn't feel like people just wanted free stuff. They genuinely seem to care about the game despite playing other ones. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. And, you know, there's no red flags at this level either. There's nothing that's like, oh, could that have been better? I don't think so, really. And so, much of what I just said about the second place is absolutely relevant for first place as well, which we will see right here. This is from Shrimpy Plays. It's a bit similar to Lord Waffles earlier, but a bit toned down. Here we go.
Are you tired of the same old content? Can't find your passion? Well then, listen here, 'cause maybe I've got the stuff you're looking for. Midgets, furries, tentacles, feet. Don't look any further, 'cause we've got something for everyone. Don't be afraid to sneak a peek. Interracial, it's all good, baby. You sexually identify as an Apache helicopter. Check out this naughty chopper. Look at her swing her thing. Bestiality? No, that's just wrong. Big wiggly worms. Enroll in some local roleplay with your guildies. Nice rod. Gort, wouldn't you like a nice fruitcake? Have some. They're delicious and moist. Putting the romance in necromance. Maybe there's an elementalist out there that can light your fire. Ingies really know how to crank machines.
All right. Okay, we've seen enough. And again, if me muting that now makes you think, oh, I want to watch more of that, that's a sign that it's a good video. So there you go. This is number 1. This is Shrimpy Plays. I think that someone just said in chat, I think that the top one should show some gameplay. I think that's a very valid criticism of the number 2. I think this guy had a great mix of new POF related stuff. I think it was well targeted. I think that obviously it's a bit of a clickbaity title, definitely. But again, I think that's sort of the world, man. I think that's the way that it works. And I think that this obviously had a big, really warm reception. I think this is very linkable to people. I think that this raises Guild Wars profile. I think it was funny. It's a pleasant watch. It's not too far off the deep end to put off absolute utter old grumps like me. Even shows off some nice Fashion Wars there, which I thought was an interesting angle. We had some Fashion Wars related submissions. None of them made them into the top 35. That was kind of another thing that I was kind of a bit like the artist thing. Yeah, I just think it's a really solid entry. Now, there is a little bit more to discuss on this. I think the guy might have paid a voice actor to do it. And you might think that that's quite cheaty and cheesy and soulless and whatnot. But again, I think that goes down the line of, oh, do they deserve it? Does the person deserve it? And I'm not sure whether that's a line of reasoning I felt comfortable whenever I entertained in my own mind. There's also another thing, and it's quite a petty thing. But that I quite enjoyed giving this first place over. And I'm going to get some people who really don't like me for saying this, but I sort of don't care. This video is terrible in one way. What's the one way this video is terrible? What does the voice actor, if it is a voice actor, do wrong as they read the script on this? Oh, he volunteered, did he? Okay. So what did he do? What did he do wrong?
Let's not talk about it. I've been warned. Moving on.
They pronounced Tyria wrong. Over and over and over again, they say Tyria. Over and over and over and over and over again. And for some people, that might be a deal breaker. But I quite enjoyed giving this first place despite that. And I'll tell you why. Is because I've lived the past X years, whatever, doing this job. And one of the worst experiences I have is when I do a great production that is like bang on in every way. Or I feel it is, and everyone's like, yeah, this is good, it's got a solid script, it's got this, it's got this, it's got this, so, you know, the thumb was good, everything about the production, all the different bits of work goes perfectly. It's brilliant, except one tiny, insignificant little thing that really doesn't affect the core of the product in any way. One little thing is wrong, like a mispronunciation, or a slight factual inaccuracy in the first 3 minutes, which is what everyone watches before they inevitably tune out, right? There will be some slight issue, and that's all anyone can ever talk about in the comments. That's all they ever go on. It completely detracts from the rest of the work, which otherwise was perfect, and the spirit of the actual thing is completely thrown away. And that is the most frustrating, irritating thing to deal with. The amount of work that all these videos, all these top 35 that you've seen, the amount of work that people have put into these is staggering. They will have really, really tried. Okay, well, for the vast majority of them. Some of them, the format means they will have been quite easy to do, like the mum playing the game or whatever. But, you know, there's a ton of work. Oh, and yet because the pronunciation of Tyria is not quite as people expect, that means it shouldn't get a win. I loathe that. And so the idea of, oh, I should be the change I want to see or whatever, I'll tell you what I can change and what I can shrug off as the sole judge, the choice I can make. I can make the choice to look past this small, superficial, insignificant, you know, quirk about the video and look at it for what it is. And I was very happy to give it first for that. Necropolis. So yeah, and the reason I say people will hate me for saying that is I'm pretty sure people will be like, oh, this only way, well, it wasn't about growing the scene, it was just about catering to your specific little whims, WP. But maybe that's true. Maybe I'm only human, and at the end of the day, it was always going to be a subjective competition. But that was just that by the way is not the reason this got first place. This is the reason why it didn't. That is a reason it didn't lose first place. I didn't take points away from any production for something small and petty like that, and I would never want to. So I'm very comfortable and happy to give that number 1. I think it was a really good video, really, really solid entry to the competition. And whether we can say that the number 1 grew the scene more than the number 2, when the number 2 got more views and had a better base from Variety Gaming, I mean, both of them did. Whether we can say that number 3 grew the scene more than 23, which had far more when 23 had far more, or whatever, right? Whether these things are true or not, I'm not entirely sure. And I don't think there's any way for me to actually be entirely sure about them ever. And that's something I've just sort of had to come to terms with over the competition. But what I can say I am sure about is overall the criteria out of everything I've thought of and from what I've cared about as I've done the judging, I think that the selection I've offered, with maybe a few swaps based on my mood here and there, it's generally intact. This is how I'm comfortable having given everybody their prizes, and yeah, that would sort of be my final thoughts on it, really. So yeah, I just talked myself into a hole. That's it, man. That's it, really. It's not a particularly pointed end to the whole discussion, but that's the competition, guys. That's the judging. Let's give this guy his prizes. Let's literally do it right now. Okay, we're gonna go in game and we're gonna send this dude a huge mail, the likes of which Guild Wars will very rarely have seen in the past. So here we go. Let's send this, and then I'll, if you guys have got anything rattling around in your head, if you entered the competition, if I've just critiqued, if you will, your thing very briefly and flippantly and rudely, and you want to talk about, you're more than welcome to right here, right now. Now that this is done, I'm very excited to just sort of draw a line under the competition and be done with it. So I doubt I'll be engaging in too much discussion / criticism of the competition moving forward. So really, if you guys want to talk about it now, I'm an open book. But after that, I think I'm done stressing over it and letting, you know, other important things fall away. All right, so here we go. The account name, I'm not even sure what their account name is. Let's see here. The account name for the winner was El Shrimpo. I wonder if that's with a space or not. Thanks for the very many additional places. I don't want to sound greedy, and it's okay if goldies go to someone else, but I'd be grateful if my account name on the list of winners would get fixed in case someone would like to contact me. I'm that person who whispered you about my space in my name. You told me to submit the video without the space, but my actual account name. Yeah, we did that a second ago. I'll try and remember this and tell Welk later. Don't worry. And yeah, great submission. Look, we've even got a couple of responses here. All right, so you won the legendary contest. Oh, I'm an idiot. What the okay, so El Shrimpo. What do we guess? I guess that's going to be a space, isn't it? I guess that's going to be a space. So they are going to get several mails. Oh, dearie me, this is going to be ludicrous, isn't it? Let's turn the game audio on as well for you guys. Let's make sure you can actually see what's going on. You can. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, good. We should be good now. All right. So they are going to get Twilight, the Bifrost. This is weird. Doesn't this feel good? Whoever, if anyone's at the stream right now, was watching way back when we did the hunt and we were gathering and crafting all of these. This is very weird. This is a weird experience to be handling all of these. This is very, very strange. Look at this. Oh my god. Don't get lost in the mail, Black Lion Trading Company. Once I click send, if it gets lost, I don't care. See, it's out of my hands. Unable to find recipient. Oh, okay, I guess there isn't a space. Imagine if someone else had that account name and I'd sent to the wrong guy. Imagine that. Oh. All right, there we go. That's one. Oh, ludicrous. We've got Meteorologicus, we got Frenzy, we got the Flame Seeker Prophecies, we got Kamahali Kataki, we got Kraken. Pff, excessive messages. I've sent one mail! One mail! Alright, fine, we'll go to chat in the meantime. Oh my god, read chat. Sorry, he's gonna get banned for shady activities. Is he really? Okay. Oh, he's in chat. Dude, there you go, dude. There you go. That heart attack, though. Oh my god, WP, you must be joking. What happened? What, because I didn't remove the space? Oh, they were all done. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's okay, guys. It's okay. It's alright. We're all good. We're all gravy. Someone's account in Guild Wars efficiency is going to drop like a bomb. Yeah, mine is. Definitely. Really well done, WP. Great work running around this whole thing. Running this thing the whole way. Very proud. Be very proud of finishing it. I hope it helped the scene. Some people will always be a bit salty in these moments. They'll get over it. It was for a good cause. No space. It's fine, man. All right, go. Mail sent successfully. This must be very weird for you, El Shrimpo. This must be very, very strange. I don't know who this is stranger for, you or me right now. What else we got? Okay, there's his account name again. So that's the first few. Then he's going to get Sunrise, the Dreamer, the Juggernaut, Kudzu, and Frostfang. That'll be spam, won't it? Yeah, alright, with spam. So someone give me something to riff off of and talk about. If you can't send it to him, you can always send it to me and I will send it to him. Trust me, Winky Face. Oh, that sounds perfectly fine. Remember farming COF for spirit shards? Yeah, sure, why? Oh, you mean in the legendary contest? Yeah, the spirit shards were the hard part of that, weren't they? Colecchio says, could you briefly sum up your thoughts on my entry? Same name on YouTube. I gotta be honest, I don't remember yours. Let me have a quick look here. I'll look for you on YouTube. I'm not too ashamed of that, since there were 300. Let's see. Guild Wars 2 as it stands, 2017. Yeah, I remember this video. This was a decent video. This easily could have been top 35, dude. This easily could have been top 35. It's very similar to what some of the other ones were. I think the microphone and audio quality was something that got to me about this one. You did also have a lot of mysterious dislikes, and I didn't know why. As someone says in the comments. But yeah, I think you had a really solid entry. This is actually sort of a nightmare, to be honest. Because you made a great product, but then just like the one thing, the microphone. But it is so important. I actually don't think that's a petty thing, like a little bit of pronunciation. I can understand if you feel a bit dismayed for not being in the top 35. But I think in the name of variety, entries like yours didn't make it. But I think it's a really good idea, dude. Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of different things I looked into with each video. You haven't been making any other content. That was an easy thing you could have done to have helped you out. But yeah, I'm sorry I don't have much more pointed to say on that. Alright, here we go. More. El Shrimpo. Go. Mail sent successfully. Oh, no. That was copy-paste from doing the YouTube there. Let's grab that. But if you want some encouragement, by the way, I think you do have real talent. And I think if you did make more videos, if you enjoyed that creative process, I think you could go places with consistency. Consistency is the main one that gets us all that we're bad with. Are you fine with us asking for criticisms about our individual videos, or would you rather forget about it now after spending so long on this? No, you can throw them at me if you like. It's just obviously I'm trying to keep up with chat and obviously still sending these. Did I have a donation? Really? Okay, hold on. Let me load these in. So then there's Bolt, there's Quip, there's Rodgorts, there's the Incinerator, and there's the Minstrel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that all of them? Guess it must be, because the inventory's empty now. I thought there were like 3 more than that. Weren't there? I guess not. Alright, well anyway. Let's see if we can send that. Yes, we can. There you go. I think that's it. I don't see any more. That's beautiful. That is very, very, very cool. Let's keep going, though. We've got more prizes to give away here. Let's move on now to second place. So second place was Terminal Montage with no space. So let's see here. Second place was winning... at this point, with this economy, second place is getting 7,900 gold. This is all of the contracts. Plus the Mystic Forge conduit. So, I mean, this is... I think a lot of you guys will your appetites will be whetted at this one. The contracts, all of these. Ooh. It's interesting as well because new stuff's coming to the game. Permanent Upgrade Extractor would be a part of this set now if we were running the competition now. The Halloween stuff probably wouldn't be there. These minis wouldn't be there as prizes. Permanent bank access. Don't you just want to double click that? So, Terminal Montage, no space it has here on my thing. So, we're going to click send. Mail sent successfully. And then we'll go again. I mean, for a lot of people, I remember when we were setting these prizes up, for a lot of people, this was the major prize. This was the main prize. And then also the Bank Access Express contract. That'll take a while for us to be able to send through, though. Yeah, the extractor didn't exist when we start, Benji, so I'm not gonna... We spent enough money, alright? I'm not gonna go farm just to arbitrarily pick that up, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Dark Sigma! Wow, £20, dude! And that was an hour ago. What the hell? Got my tax return today, so here's some cash for you. Do these count as charitable donations? Because I get a huge tax write-off from these. I'm going to be getting a mic finally to make some GW2 videos. Thanks to you. Keep being awesome. I mean, I don't really have an accountant to deal with that kind of stuff, so I just pile it all in and I don't get it. Like, are you basically saying a charitable donation would be tax-free, right? I don't do that. I don't know whether I can. I'm not sure. WP, you didn't even send him a message. Yeah, I'll send it here. All right, there you go. Boom. So that is first and second. Third place is all the core precursors, which is worth 5,500 gold. And let's... Oh, wait. No, the precursors have dropped in price majorly. I wonder then if that is because... of this Mystic Forge rolling thing has sort of fucked the economy for a second, which actually means that third place is the Aura Collection. So we give the Aura Collection to the third place winner, which is the guy that made the incinerator. So Killer Arby. Killer Arby. All right, there you go. So, we got quite a lot of these to deposit here. So, Storm. I mean, do you remember getting these as well? These just came like in one stream. It was insane. Truly insane. I mean, you guys should be proud as you watch this. You should be proud. Boom. What's this? Ha, Sambo. Dude, you got no idea how many people send me these. You got no idea how many people... Sampo, what place did you come again? I can't remember. You might be in the gems section, which means you'll be getting codes on YouTube rather than items sent. All right, so anyway, that's one. Moving on. Killer RB again. Oh, we have a Bloodstone Crazed Beast. That's hilarious. That's what current events are good for, just adding to the body of various events that can proc in Guild Wars. Okay. Let's throw those up. That's an interesting idea. Will the Awakened events run forevermore now, do you guys think? I don't know. Mail sent successfully. Nice. I think the game's being lenient with spam right now, which is really, really pleasant. Okay. So, guys, I want to propose something to you. If, instead of doing this 5 minutes ago, I had simply account bound every item that's in this inventory. I just account bounded it blatantly in front of you all, and then just turned off the stream. My question is, A, do you think I could continue making Guild Wars content without being hated on? And B, if so, how long would that have taken? Because I'll tell you, if you say that it would only be a couple of months, I think I might be making a mistake right now. I should take this and run. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, shh. Alright, he gets the prees. He gets the prees, and hopefully he'll be okay with that. If they have a problem with that, we can swap later. There's not much price difference between the two. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Such an idiot. You wouldn't even be mad? Oh no, that is really, really dumb. Yeah, I said out loud that he'd win the auras instead of the prees, and then I just gave him all the prees. So technically, that guy just got a lower value prize than the 4th place dude, but only by a little bit. My lack of focus amazes you. It's not a lack of focus. It's a lack of focus on one thing. You know, I'm trying to have a conversation while doing this. It's not as easy as it looks. Not for an idiot such as myself. Okay. This is why you shouldn't read chat. Yeah, I know. Alright, so next. 4th place. So this is Doombox. So Doombox almost just got all the prees, but instead he gets... instead he gets all the auras. Just as we were ranting about at the start of this stream. So that's Doombox. Okay, he has a space in his account name then. Alright, and now we're spam suppressed. Okay, so we'll wait a second. I'm really concerned as well that that last batch of prees I accidentally sent as a reply to someone else instead of to the correct person. But I'm pretty sure I got it. I'm pretty sure I did it okay. You should know this by now based on Mercer's ignore chat. I don't want to be a jerk at this point, but that doesn't surprise me. He's tired. Doombox definitely doesn't need prees anyway. Really? What do you mean? A minor question regarding the competition website. How long will it stay up from now on? That's a good question. I haven't asked Welk about that. I think what we can do is archive it. And there's a lot of different things I think both would like to do with the website. There's a lot of different things. And so you might find new sections appearing on there over time. I'm going to keep paying to host it, nonetheless. But I guess the logical endpoint would be it would be archived somewhere in some nice, neat corner as the Wooden Potatoes empire grows and the things we do grow and blah blah blah. That's a nice idea. He doesn't play Guild Wars 2 anymore, he said in his live stream. That was actually another reason why I didn't get thingy, because I was aware he'd barely been playing. Mostly he does Guild Wars 1 streams, and I'm not sure what else there is. So literally, what we're sending these auras to a man that doesn't play the game anymore. But again, this was something I thought about many times, right? It's not about who... It shouldn't be about that. If it becomes about that, it really complicates things. So let's not worry ourselves. The guy made a solid entry to a competition, and he won. That's all it comes down to. You don't disqualify someone from a lottery just because, you know, they're a convict. Or whatever. At least I don't think you do. Alright, there we go. So that's the 2 cent Doombox. So now we're looking at 5th place, which is Rayo, who I really hope keeps making stuff. So that's ANBZ. And the 5th place prize is... I've got to be careful with the value of this stuff right now. The Ghastly Grinning Shield and Greatsword, which had a bit of a price spike at the moment, which is kind of nice too. They're worth a lot more than when we bought them. So that's the Halloween stuff. Let me just be 100% confident that's okay. Yep. Oh, this is such a mess, actually. This is such a mess, because these, economically, are now worth more... Well, whatever. Look, I guess we'll just, instead of whatever else we were going for, I guess we'll just have the order as the order is, which is a bit weird, but there you go. Alright, so he wins those. And then finally, we have the minis. Why do I have... Oh shit, the Queen Bee. These are auras still, aren't they? They're auras. They go to the aura guy. Who was the aura guy? The aura guy was 4th place a second ago. That was Doombox. Doombox was winning the auras, wasn't he? Alright, another mail to Doombox. Sorry, hold on. Another mail to Doombox. I forgot we got Night Fury as an aura. So there you go. He gets those. We put the space in there. We're spam suppressed. Once he gets those, we then go minis, and the job is done. Yeah, forgot about the Ghostly Infusion, the Queen Bee, and actually, this is the really expensive stuff. Night Fury, the Queen Bee. So, it would have been quite funny to have completely forgotten. Come on, spam suppress. Doombox does still play, apparently. Well, look, he can have crazy cosmetic feature visual No, and enjoy that. Hey, WP, what did you think of the Traherne versus Call Me rap video I made? If you have time, TY. I loved it, man. I thought it was really cool. I love to see another Call Me versus Traherne. It was a little bit like the 60 seconds video, but because of that, it lost quite a few points. But I really liked it. I thought it was very good, very creative. I hope to see more raps. You know, I think this community lost something when, what's his name? Who was the guy that who sang the Wooden Potatoes anthem and whatnot? I can't even remember his name right now. Jesus. Who then like ran bots and whatever and got that massive controversy over him. Yeah, you know, I want more talent on the scene like that. That was a very fun entry. And by the way, all the entries, guys, even the ones that never made it the top 35, many of them justifiably could have. The full list is on the website, so you guys can check all of those out. So finally, 6th place wins the minis. 6th place was... Mine Nexus, Prime Score. Prime Score gets the minis. And beautifully, that is one male. Thank God to old Wooden Potatoes there for setting that up. So, Prime Score. I forgot to send a nice heartfelt message to Rayo. Hopefully he's in chat. I don't know if he's in chat. Alright. Mail sent successfully. Boom. The next few winners, by the way, they're all getting lots of gems. 4,000 gems each. Many of the other people you saw here. Then there's several people getting 1,200 gems. Mini eggs are being given away. There's tons of other people getting 800 gems. And we saw, you know, a ton of people getting 50G as well, even below that. So, lots of stuff there. Oh, yeah, I was thinking of Suck at Love. That's it. Yeah, I was thinking of Zach Suck at Loves. You're right. Yeah, Butters, yes. Yeah, there you go. Rayo's there. Hey, man, I appreciate the opportunity in the comment. Thanks for the kind words. I'm very excited and interested in sort of your future if you keep doing Guild Wars 2 stuff, dude. I really am. I think that you're very good for the scene, and I hope that you keep making stuff. So there you have it. So, yeah, Ada as well. Ada, I wanted to say, Ada did a really great entry. With like a really, really long thing talking about the whole competition and all this time they spent. It's not lost on me how much time you spent, Ada. I hope you don't feel too bad that you weren't in the top 35, but I did obviously give you that special shout out in the video, and I hope people do really realize how much you did for the scene. So just so that everyone knows, in Twitch chat right now, there's someone called Ada, and this is a person that watched nearly all of the entries and left comments on nearly all of the entries and asked people to talk about their videos and subscribed to all the new talents. And really, you know, a lot of people entered this competition and just got no one. Just no one responded to them. No one gave them anything. That was it. It was just silence. It was just crickets in the distance. And trust me, that's what it's like starting on YouTube. There was nothing except Ada. Ada was always there and helping people out and being a legend generally. So, yeah, I know you said you were not trying to win, but I mean, you entered. Yeah, and they had a Discord to talk about all this stuff. I mean, they really fostered a lot of enthusiasm. I saw Benji had a message earlier that whizzed past really quickly. He said, I really regret not looking at these videos as the competition was ongoing. I heard you announce it and then just ignored it. You know, I tried a lot of times to get people to look at it as it was going on. We had the Reddit thread and we had some stuff going on. But, and I was always really quite disappointed that there wasn't more buzz around it because there were a lot of great entries. But, you know, that's life, really. That's sort of par for course, isn't it? It's just a video game. I just installed Guild Wars 2 after a year break. Is it still taking ages to get other specs? No, not at all. It's really easy. They made it easy for people like you who don't play the game to just get in and then leave again a couple of weeks later. So don't worry. You can get it all on a plate and then disappear again. WP, maybe show some art creators? That's a good idea. I wouldn't really know where to... Hold on, let me find the list. Let's see. Because I haven't got them labelled. I haven't... If they're not in the top 35, I haven't got them, you know, condensed down in any better of a way. You saw Lord Waffle hit 10k subs because that video was great? Yeah, I mean, people did get stuff from it, which I'm really happy about. Reminder about more... Oh, yes. Okay, so a slightly different... So let me just put a cap on that then, guys. Any last questions people desperately want to ask me about with the competition before I stop talking about it here? And maybe, you know, aside from idle random comments and other streams and things coming up, we probably won't have too much more discussion. Anyone else got anything they want to say Anyone want to shout at me, spit at me? Were the legendaries yours and I denied you for a rude, mean reason? Did I not give you the attention that you deserve? I would like to hear your criticism on my Crystal Oasis cinematic tour, if you remember it. Was that the Consortium one? Was that the Consortium advertising the Crystal Desert? If it was that, you were 36. Seriously. Seriously. If it was that, I'm pretty sure. There was another video that was very similar to that, which I was juggling which one was supposed to be there. I thought it was really good, the Crystal Desert, the Consortium funded one. What's for dinner? I don't think I've got anything planned for dinner at all. Oh yeah, Ubria did the Guild Wars 2 from a Savari's viewpoint speed drawing. Yeah, that was really interesting because that actually told a story. That was quite close to one of the other submissions where they did like the full animation thing, right? It was lots of different art pieces strung together that like told a story between them. I thought that was very nice. But I guess I just felt that the other ones pipped it. Thanks for all the dedication and attention you put into the contest. Biggest giveaway I ever saw for a community to grow itself, says Royal. Thanks, Royal. What is the most valuable lesson you learned from this side activity? I mean, I can easily answer that. It won't be a profound answer for you guys, but in my life, I certainly learned a lesson. I learned that it was something I already knew, but to have explored its depths fully and see just how apparent it is as a judge of a competition like this, I think, you know, it really it reinforced some facts I knew about the world, but through actual experience and legitimate experience now. And again, it's not very profound for you guys, but it really is. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how much effort you put into something. If it's not what the world is asking for, it kind of doesn't mean anything. And that's probably quite a depressing thing for a lot of you to think about and mull over, but I actually think it's quite a... I think with that lesson in my belt, like if I choose more new projects to look into for YouTube and Twitch and stuff, you know, sweating over minute details when I think there's something to learn in that. It's not a cheerful thought, it's not really, but I think that you can utilize that to find success. So what about how there were more role-playing videos than PvP and Raid and World vs. World videos? Is role-playing come back? I don't think so. I just think that they're better entry experiences. I found anyone that did like montages and competitive montages, they were very steep hills to climb in terms of growing the scene. I think they only appeal to people who are already A, into Guild Wars 2, but also B, into the competitive sides of Guild Wars 2, which is such a small little section of the community. I'm not even sure it's sustaining itself. So I think that a lot of those were rated down for that. Again, like one of the first really satisfying videos I watched was a Deadeye montage. It's a good video. You guys should watch it. Type in Guild Wars 2 Deadeye PvP. I'm sure it will come up on YouTube. Good video, solid viewership, fun, well edited, entertaining. Was it worth the WP, all the time and effort for the contest? I mean, if I say no to that, that's going to be a real downer, isn't it? Pragmatically speaking, truthfully speaking, all the ad revenue, Patreon support, stream viewership, and thus stream subs and stream donations and all that, all of the decline I had on that, basically dropping the ball for X months, it was terrible and was not worth it, even remotely. Pragmatically speaking, I could be hard on myself and just say, oh, I'm lazy, or, you know, I should have tried harder or whatever, but at the end of the day, this is the way my life went over the past quarter, and it wasn't actually good for the channel. So in that perspective, not good. In perspective of having a cool series and a cool, you know, seeing something through to its conclusion, something of an enormous size, something I could draw a line under and be proud of, and I genuinely am proud of, in terms of all of those things and the character building that came from it, and I think it was worth it, definitely. Definitely. That is the way any and all content has been since the dawn of time. Absolutely, Dark Sigma. WP, I'd say you need to learn to trust your integrity more. What do you mean by that, Cylindada? What do you mean by that? I need to trust my integrity more. That would be a profound change. What do you mean? What integrity? That contest entry allowed me to become an ArenaNet partner, and now I make consistent Guild Wars 2 content. Fantastic competition. Thanks so much, Prime Score. I hope you enjoy your prize. Did I ever check out Lineage 2? No, man. I'm a bit of a monogamer. I think it was quite incredible to stick all your justifications out there. Personally, I would have wimped out and declined to comment on the reasons for choosing at all and just let people cry. Then people can only speculate. Fair play. Yeah, well, you know, I will come to regret this. This VOD will be deleted in a few days. I'm gonna turn off the stream. I'm going to go to Reddit and I'm gonna see a lot of scathing criticisms of my choices here, and I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna go in a corner. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna delete it all. It's gonna be great. It's okay, because this character's inventory is now empty. I've done my bit. It's over. I've paid my end of the bargain. I've given massive amounts of goods to the community. And I'm free. The chains are off. Do you think down the line that the contest will have had a good impact on growing the scene, or unfortunately too temporary? I touched on this a bit in my video about the competition that I put up a few hours ago, because I think that is what's important, isn't it? Really, it's not about me. It's not about my place as a judge. It's not about even, you know, the entrants and whether they feel they deserve their prize and stuff. It's not about that. It's about Guild Wars 2 and did we grow the scene? And you know, there's been a pitiful amount of talk on that on this stream. Honestly, what do you guys think? I wish I could sit here and say, yeah, we grew it massively. Did we? In the video, I said, listen, I think we took word of mouth as a community initiative as far as you possibly can. I think this is as deep as you can go. I think having one of the bigger content creators on the scene do this, I think this is the logical extent that you can take it to. And so I think it's on Guild Wars 2 to go from this. If it didn't grow the scene, I don't take that as, I don't think that's on us. I don't think that's on you, the stream viewer that donated to help us get the prizes. I don't think that's on you, the participant in the competition. I don't think that's on me, the judge and host. I don't think it's on us at that point. I think if it doesn't grow the scene, it's about the game having worthwhile systems and gameplay to retain people. I don't think it's on us anymore after that. So did we grow the scene? Maybe. Adida, who watched every single video, by the way. If anyone has a valuable opinion that's not me here, it's probably Adida, or Ada, sorry, who says, I mean, that green-eyed girl had a 6-hour stream and she got 20 people new to play just from it. Yes, you can see all the comments on all the videos that say, yes, I will play Guild Wars 2 again. Benji says, I'm really interested to see how Guild Wars 2 will handle a potential trailer for the next Living World update. I think you're right, Benji. That's going to be really interesting, especially with a new marketing guy there. I came back to the game because of your work and the Doombox video. I think overall it did a good job. Turtle Emoji says, I hope you feel relieved. Dude, I do. I really do. K1TTA says, I'm afraid it was just a bust. Oh, sorry, it was a burst, sorry. Same thing, essentially. It had impact, but only for now, and probably already died down. I think, competition or no, Guild Wars is always going to have a bit of a thing, because it's oriented itself so much to the PvE side of the game. I think it's always going to have a thing where players zerg in around the release of a Living World update, and then they bugger off again. I think it is going to have that. But maybe we shallowed out the player base discrepancy a little bit. I don't know. Going to submit a belated entry of me growing a plant with a sign on it that reads "The Scene." Ha! Oh, I don't know what I would have done. That would have caught me out. That would have been first place. Clearly, that would have been first place. There's nothing that I could have done to argue against that. You would have grown the scene, and what could I have said? No. ArenaNet hardly did anything similar in terms of social media engagement videos, Twitter comments. Just seems barely marketing on banners, so yes. Well, they did it in 2012, and you know, there was another amazing thing they did. ArenaNet once, they printed out all this stuff to do with Tyria, and like plushie toys, and you know, various fluffy things. And what they did was they went to places in real life, and they decorated them to look just like Tyria. Those places happened to be taxis, and they drove around with people in the taxis. I mean, that was growing the scene. But like you said, after seeing so many 10 reasons to play Guild Wars 2, it gets hard to see anymore. Yeah. Make the plant a miniature hern like Groot and have it dance. I do not mean to question the validity of the contest, the participants, and you yourself. Really just interested in people's views Now that it's all over. I mean, I do think that Path of Fire lacked various things. I think that my biggest grumble right now, I think, for retention is collections and the way we earn loot and things. I think that that's what's confused about the game right now. That's sort of how I feel-ish at the moment. In my opinion, the people recommending the game to friends, family is currently the best way to grow the community. Videos like this help show off the game to potential audiences, but honestly, I think without the personal link, it's very hard to engage people in the game. I know for a fact I had 3 friends join me in the game just because I told them about it. However, I have no idea how many people have joined the game through watching my competition entry. Maple Ace, I think you just hit on something that's really important that I've not talked about at all, and you're probably right. You know, word of mouth advertising is not synonymous with make trailers and be a YouTuber and be a Twitch streamer and be this and be... It's not actually the same thing. Word of mouth advertising is most powerful, and clearly the main element of it has got nothing to... When Mo was talking about this, and when it's come up over the... You know, they're not really talking about me hosting this competition. I just said, but this is the logical extent that you can take it to. Is it? Because I think probably the real power of word of mouth advertising is you, Mr. Twitch viewer, right here, right now. There are hundreds of you watching, right? What you want to do... word of mouth is strongest when you go to your sister, your brother, your high school mate, your dad, your mum, and you say to these people, hey, do you want to play this with me? You can have 5 guilds. We'll make one. It can be our little family guild. I'll teach you about it. It'll be fun. You listening to me with a slowly deteriorating relationship. Get your spouse into the MMO to play together. Go on an adventure together. Come closer. Like games like Divinity Can and so on. You know, like, I think that's the strength of word of mouth advertising. A video will only ever go so far. And a Twitch stream can do all right, I think, because they are conversational. You do get people coming in to check how the games go and whatnot. The Warring Criter QR code hunt and mysterious websites was amazing. Certainly, but I don't know how much that grew Guild Wars 1. It certainly helped to retain a failing audience in, you know, as there was nothing happening to that game while waiting for Guild Wars 2, certainly. But beyond that, I don't know. Clip this speech and we have a winner, WP. Well, who knows if people will do that. And so there you go. We'll pin it there, guys. We'll leave it there. Now, one final little thing I want to talk about in the stream. Ventura just came in and pointed it out. We have a community, the Spuds. Okay, anyone's welcome to join. We have 2 guilds. We're thinking of making one EU, one NA at some point this year. It should really help to streamline a lot of things. We have lots of fun stuff going on. We have games masters, people who play Guild Wars 2 that are interested in running events. They like the idea of running events and sorting cool things out with basically infinite funds. But don't like the aggro of running a guild, right? Those are the games masters. You can run cool stuff like 1v1 tournaments, 3v3 tournaments, stuff that appears on streams. The North American side of the community is lacking, seriously, for Spud, for GMs. So we're really looking for some people. If you are interested at all in stepping up a little bit in Spud, it doesn't mean you have loads of bureaucratic bollocks, you know, slow, annoying, soul-crushing stuff to do. It's just if you want to run events, if you want to help the NA side of Spud grow, we are looking for, 1 GM? 2 GMs, Ventura? I can't remember, but we are looking for people. So head on into Discord, throw a message out there, and it would be very cool if anybody wanted to step up, because NA is deserving of more, I think, on the Spud side of things. It doesn't quite have enough. I love the reflections on the water here. It looks so good. What about the raid guy? Explain like I'm a script raids beginner guys for World 4 Boss 1. Yeah, I liked the video. I just didn't think that a raid guide has as much reach as what a lot of those other videos did. But I liked it, and I liked the... there's a word the impulse. I like the impulse of the video. Because I was so rambling about lore in Season 3, I got my best friend and brother into Guild Wars 2 after being huge fans. You know, actually, I've got a story for you all here. Many months before I ever even considered being a YouTuber, when I was just an adolescent playing Guild Wars 1, a game called Factions came out, and I had a schoolmate, and I remember this so clearly. I went around to his house one day, and we just played all different kinds of games, you know. And I just got into Guild Wars, and I remember very clearly, long before the Wooden Potatoes sits before you now, Anyone that ever identified with story in games or lore or talking about games for a living or any of that, way before any of that, I remember having maybe an hour, 2 hour long, one-sided almost, conversation where I just rambled about how cool Factions was, about the Jade Sea and about the Echovald Forest and about the history of the world. And I remember getting my mate interested in the game. He never actually installed it and played it in the end, but he I think that was because he didn't have a PC. But he was super into the game. I still remember that really clearly. That's word of mouth advertising. I still remember that very, very, very clearly. It's weird to look back at now with the context of who I became. Without the context, I was just, you know, a nerd. But yeah, I mean, I'm still a nerd with the context. By the way, I was Bosch from Spud by accident. I think my Ultra Spud rank never got instated, so I guess I was just a Sprout really long time. Oh, dude, really? If you message a GM, hopefully we can sort that out. But yeah, Factions had a really good setting in terms of just telling random gamers about it. Like, who doesn't want to hear about a Jade Sea and a forest and a dying emperor who explodes and petrifies everything? And who doesn't want to hear about factions warring over it and riding around on giant turtles? Who doesn't want to hear that? Seriously. Dossie says, now we can finally go back to watching you die in PvP. We have a bright future before us. Well, yeah, we obviously will have more projects and things going on. But guys, I've been streaming a long time. Remember, this stream, actually, I was already streaming earlier. We did a bit of a balanced podcast with Boots a couple of hours before this. It's been a reasonably productive day here on Twitch. I just want to say thanks to everybody who's tuned in. Thanks to everybody who participated in the competition. If you've got any outstanding questions and things, do feel free to message me. I'll try to get around to them as best I can. But we will leave it there. There could be a bonus stream throughout this week. I'm not entirely sure. It is Monday, right? Yeah, it is. So tomorrow, this could be perfect timing, by the way, because tomorrow could be a new trailer. Balance, could be all kinds of things. So it could be pretty exciting stuff going on. Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for all the lovely comments, and I will see you all very shortly.